hold on, scroll. Oh, five.
Good
Jesus.
morning. And so we don't do the good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We just do good morning because this is
That's
the
it.
midnight show. This is
Morning.
Insomniac Hour, Redpill Project Insomniac Hour, live with you midnight, random days of the week. Depends when we are feeling the need for no sleep, and we want to talk about something strange, weird, or unusual, and just have a little good time. Tonight we have a whole bunch of friends with us. This is Dmitri's show, so obviously he's over there. Myself, Josh. We have Amicus down there, Vince, and then our good friend Glenn Young back with us again to talk about the Fringe, and he's like, wait, what are you guys talking? I want in on this, and I'm like, it was serendipitous because you were literally watching something about shadow people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nuke's top 5. I mean, literally, like that's one of my go-tos. Like, I'll sit there at work, and most people are just watching Sports Center. I'm sitting there watching the shadow, like shadow people caught on tape.
It's weird. I actually.
Does he have any?
Actually, yeah. Like listen. If you go on to YouTube, look for Nuke's top 5 shadow people.
Okay.
I mean, he has probably like 5 or 6 videos where they actually catch the shadow. There's even one where this little girl is like playing or doing something, doing a dance, and all of a sudden the camera just pans over and something just runs right in front of her. Now she can't see it.
Man.
But yeah, it's one of those real good ones.
Oh God!
I think I have one at my house.
Right now?
Yeah,
How
Like
so?
always, or
Is
just
it
like
named
right now?
Kevin?
I've seen it once, but I don't know.
Nuke's top 5. What does it look like?
Okay, so here's the situation. I woke up with sleep paralysis a couple months ago.
That happens.
Okay, so that's when you wake up and you can't move.
Yep.
And I'm trying to force myself to wake up. I'm like, all right, come on, start moving. And I open my eyes first. And I look around, still not able to move. And I have a couple hooks on my wall where I hang shit up, and I had a towel hanging on one of them. And it's a dark blue towel, and I swear that it wasn't a towel, but it was just like something standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I closed my eyes, and then I started being able to move, and I got up, and I was like, okay. I was like, oh, it's just my towel. But I'm like kind of convinced, like maybe there was something there.
See, it's interesting
What do
because
you
you're
think?
in sleep paralysis. So this means that
That's the key
your
here.
body was still in the autonomous nervous system, which basically makes your senses paralyzed in a sense. So your sensory organs aren't really there, and so you're in a very observant state, which is really transgressive of being in that pre-hypnagogic state where you're out of body. So you can see through the veil, if you want to look at it, very much at that point in time. So I'm wondering if what you're really seeing was something really there and through that veil, just because you were in that state.
Ah, man.
Most reports of shadow people happen from sleep paralysis. They feel like they're always standing like near your bed or like at the foot of your bed or whatever, and they're just looking at you. They don't do anything really. They just stay, but their presence alone is like frightening, obviously.
It's like that TikTok from a few weeks ago of the old lady and her grandkids, right?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, you got.
Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't see that
You
one.
didn't see this one?
Mm-mm.
It's cool, man. It's
So
freaky.
the story is the grandma used to tell the ghost story of how she was in her rocking chair and she turns around and there's 2 ghosts standing right behind her. Right? And then the kids went to visit their grandma one day to check on her, and they walk in and their grandma's dead in the rocking chair.
Whoa.
So the grandma
Then
had foreseen her own death and her grandkids walking in on her and said it was a ghost.
yeah, they thought she was a ghost. I think
Yeah,
they saw her sitting there as a ghost.
Wow.
So it's like that's what about the veil. That's what I was saying.
That's like a time thing too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's supposed to be some sort of correlation between the veil, energy, and time. I mean, that's pretty much how it even goes. Like, I heard somebody talk about the fact that when we're actually looking at stars in space, we are actually time traveling ourselves. because the sun isn't really where the sun is. It's really where it was 8 minutes ago or something weird like that.
Right, exactly that, actually, 8 minutes.
Well,
Yeah, I've heard.
that's the perceptual dimension of time of how it is prescribed in modern physics. Now, whether general relativity holds up at that, I mean, obviously they believe it has. I would say that it sustains that theory that when you're looking at a star, you're actually looking at the star's light from 1 billion years ago. Although I would contest that. The reason I contest that is because, and this is contesting general theory of relativity, okay, general and special theory, is because if I shine a laser light or a flashlight, the end of that beam, right, is a continuous replication of the beginning of the beam. Okay? So think about it in this sense. Is if I wrapped a rope around the Earth, the equator of the Earth, okay? So I wrapped a big rope around the equator of the Earth, and I'm holding one end, and Dmitri's holding another end, and I tug that one end, and there's tension on the line, enough tension to make that rope completely tight, and I tug it. You feel that tug with a delay or instantaneously?
It's daily.
Small delay.
Nope, it has to be instantaneous. If we said there's there's 100% tension on the line,
as soon as I move, I'll feel it.
As soon as I move,
right,
it moves along with me. It's instantaneous movement. And see, I believe that that light is very similar in its occurrence. Is that, well, we have to understand.
Yeah, I don't.
Go ahead. No, you're fine.
No, because there's a thing where a guy puts up a bunch of like popsicle sticks like this, like crossed over on each other, and he has a firecracker, and he blows the firecracker up, and the explosion from the firecracker propels these popsicle sticks to keep going and going. So there's nothing moving them except for that inertia of the cracker. So light essentially is inertia. Well, I mean, it's energy. So like when it stops, because the end of the beam is the same as the beginning, but the beginning still has to get to you. So if the sun was off and someone turned the sun on, we wouldn't see that turn on for 500 seconds, which is it's just over 6 minutes.
It's the delay. It's the delay of the sun. But what I'm trying to say is, in the relativistic sense, is that, and this is what I was getting to with the rope, is if we look at the pre-20th century version of physics, pre-quantum, pre-Max Planck, pre-Einstein, they talked about the Michelson-Morley experiment, the lumospheric ether, about how everything propagates through a medium, even in space. Now, in quantum physics, they remove the lumospheric ether, and they basically say space is empty, it's nothing, it's a vacuum, there's nothing there, and there is no ether. Well, Michelson-Morley tried to do this experiment. They did it on a beach. They tried to test to see if there was what's known as etheric drag. Basically, if the universe moved slower in one direction than another direction, because you would have an inertial frame and then a resistant frame. And they found out that in 1900 that it didn't work, and that's when Einstein, a few years later, 1909, came out with general relativity, basically without the lumospheric ether, or a transient medium to propagate light through. And this is kind of one of the basis of his whole theory. Well, the problem is in 1998, the Russians started putting geosynchronous GPS satellites in orbit, and the United States started doing the same thing. And what they started finding is their calculations for the orbital sustainment was wrong, and that these satellites started decreasing orbit slowly over time. Over a period of years, it would be a few millimeters. So they remeasured it against the Michelson-Morley calculations, and they found out exactly that satellites are experiencing minute amounts of drag in space that would account for a lumospheric ether that they're actually traveling against as they're orbiting the Earth.
Right. Wow. So there is, David Bohm said nothing. Well, nothing is nothing, but like even air is like the space between your phone and your face right now. There's a lot of stuff in there. You just don't think it is. So even if there's no air, there's still stuff there. You just don't think it is, you know?
So then you have to go back to the ancient alchemical perspective of light. Light is not the force that propagates, but instead the reaction of the lumospheric ether. In where is, if I took a pebble and I dropped it into an ocean, that pebble has a bow shock. It breaks the water and travels down while breaking the water. And then the water comes back and collapses onto itself, right? Well, in the ether, when you separate the ether, that's electromagnetism. polarization. And so when that ether collapses back onto itself, that's light. So what we perceive as light is actually the ether collapsing back onto itself because a force propagated through it. Now, the rate of collapse of the ether is a constant. It's always going to be at the same velocity. That's called the speed of light.
Wow.
Right.
That's
So
an interesting theory, though.
Yeah.
But so the fact that the star is always essentially always on, that's what you're saying, because the rope's already tense because the star's on. So if it has a supernova or blows up, we won't. Well, we're going to see that instantaneously.
So what I'm saying is the propagation of the force is instantaneous. So the force that we don't actually see through the ether that's making that connection is instantaneous.
Larry,
So
in regards to the Obama incident,
someone's got
on November 5th,
but then the delay is what I'm talking about. So the light is actually delayed. You're absolutely right. The light is delayed. We're seeing the light as the ether is collapsing through various functions of time.
I understand.
But the force itself, we were able to measure this longitudinal wave, the scalar wave, or whatever it might be, most likely a scalar type of function. We would be able to see that star and communicate in real time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look, now that
That got deep real quick.
that did. That took a derail. Okay, I feel
But
that.
so you can even take this into the context of exactly what we're talking about with shadow people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because what's a shadow person?
So
Shadow.
Residual energy.
Opposition of light.
yes, that doesn't necessarily mean residual. It could still be there.
So what if it is... So I'm always a firm believer, and I wish I had the book right here, that space is dualistic. So you have expansive space, and then you have what we call counter space, right? So expansive space is exactly what we have here. Everything is out into the outskirts. But then you have implosive space where everything is entangled on an inner realm. And so in inner space, when something propagates that medium, it doesn't produce light, it produces a shadow.
Because you're blocking essentially.
Yeah, because it's the opposition. It's the opposite of this whole dynamic. So what if it was like, what's that movie with Matthew McConaughey? Interstellar.
Interstellar. That was a good one.
So what if a shadow person is just this interdimensional time traveler that is just standing outside of your dimensional reality looking at you?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not like the fact that you just popped up with dude behind you like that.
Oh, God.
I ain't gonna, we almost had a whole different discussion just now.
Oh, him? That's my boy.
Bro, I was about to tell you, run. He's behind. I'm telling you. Hey,
that's Stretch. My boy Stretch.
What's up, boss?
Look, I've had literally a shadow person, and you notice how you always see him out of the corner of your eye, your peripheral.
Yep.
So
Never directly in front.
I think I know why. I have theories.
Ooh.
All right, so basically, first of all, you always see shadow people. You never see shadow dogs or shadow birds or cats. So some people say they do, but for me,
I
I've never
beg to
seen.
differ.
Okay,
I'll tell you that later.
all right. So basically, the way I see it is this: if you take a prism, like a crystal prism, and it reflects like light or reflects your angle, or like a mirror, you say take a mirror. And you look at the mirror, everywhere you turn, you're going to see where that mirror is, like where it's reflecting, right? So if it's in front of your face and you're looking around, you're always going to see that angle. Now, our optic nerve goes into our brain through a little, there's a design flaw from whoever designed us. It goes through our eye and it goes into our brain. So it blocks a little point of our vision on both eyes. So we have two blind spots where the optic nerve is. It's like 3 degrees or something like that. Or it's a really tiny space, but essentially, like if you take a dot and you put it to your face, you go like this, your dot disappears because you don't see it. So technically, we have these blind spots all the time, and our imagination or our subconscious fills in what it thinks should be there, essentially, so to speak. So we're not walking around with two blotches.
Right.
So if you took that essentially, like in a Zoom meeting, right? If you took those blind spots and you like highlighted it and brought it to full screen, you would see blackness, there would be nothing, or whiteness, whatever the hell it is. And in that realm, in that little thing, is where they they live, is where they exist, is where they know that they could pop in and out. And the reason is that they feed off of your negative energy, your fear, your anger, stuff like that. Like kind of like Monsters Inc. when they would scare the kids and then they would feed the.
Hold on.
Front row.
What if that wasn't a design flaw? What if that was a chromatic array in your eye to particularly see in that dimension?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But we can't. But why the hell can we see it then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is what if
Well,
it was a learned?
That could go back to
What?
that could go back to kids being able to see things that we can't see.
There it
That's
is.
true. I mean,
We
it makes
may
sense.
just lose the ability.
And the reason that they do that, I think that these things could pop up into anywhere they want. They don't have to stay in your peripheral blind spot. I think if they wanted to, or if they're powerful enough, maybe they can. But the reason that they choose not to is because you're not going to be afraid of them if they pop. I mean, you'll be scared shitless for a week. You know, this thing being in your house, this freaking guy behind me, just like that. But after a week, I'd be like, Stretch, you got to start paying rent. Get out. What are you doing? Like, stop. You wouldn't be scared of it anymore. And essentially, they wouldn't be able to feed off of that energy because you'd stop producing it and then it would die. So they use that.
What if that chromatic array in the eye, okay, was an initiator at birth as a evolutionary standpoint to see these things, and this is how psychics and so forth come about, because they get more direct stimulation from the sun than other people. Because if you think about it, human beings naturally are shielded from the sun. We're made to think that the sun is evil and bad and it's going to give us cancer and we stay out of it. Even children today, if you have that young mom taking her little baby out, she's coating him in the highly toxic sunscreen, right? Putting the hat over his eyes. They don't want sun touching their bodies. Now think about that. Now what if that one part of your eye was a decayed receptor cell that was meant to evolve initially when you were a child, but it never had time to develop because they've suppressed our development over time?
With what? With not seeing the sun?
Lack of vitamin D, not
a direct
seeing
correlation
the
to sun?
chromatic interference, basically suntan lotion, because you have chromatic cells in your arms as well. And so this was...
Even simply discouraging you by saying, oh, no, you didn't see what you saw.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
Not only that is by basically not getting the proper sunlight that you need, because you...
Are there chromatic cells in our eyes?
Your eyes are chromatic cells. Your rods and the cones are chromatic cells, but you also have those same receptor cells on your epidermal level of your skin. And so you have chromatic cells on your skin that detect the sun's light and the different wavelengths, particularly within the daytime blue light. And blue light is very toxic to you at nighttime, which is kind of what we're going to talk about today, which is kind of interesting what we're talking about.
Yep, exactly.
But this would also bring about why certain people that with darker skin colors are more psychically prone, psychically advanced, and third eye more open.
Well, so if I stayed out in the sun more since I was a kid, essentially you were saying this, hypothetically my third eye would be more open.
This is a crazy theory. I just really thought of this on the go, but yeah, this is starting to make a lot of sense.
Potentially.
I mean, it makes sense because you need the sun to make vitamin D. You don't get the sun. You don't get vitamin D from the sun. You make vitamin D by converting your cholesterol into it. So your cells mutate when they're getting bombarded with sun's rays, and then you convert the cholesterol you have into vitamin D, and that's essentially so your body makes it, but it needs the sun to make it.
Right. It also makes about 1,000 other micro minerals pertaining to that. K2, one of the dominant ones. But when it does this, this is critical to the functionality of our bodies, and I'm wondering if because I never knew about the micro blind spot in the eye that was there through evolution. Because listen, nature doesn't make mistakes.
No. No.
I think it corrects them, or it doesn't make mistakes, but it starts slow and then it works up. So we don't have this eyelid anymore because it used to go this way, right? Apparently to make us see underwater or help us see underwater. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay.
Like when we were all lizards and fish or whatever, like this little thing that we have here now used to be the other eyelid that goes this way.
I don't think human beings are from Earth.
Well, then, I mean, whatever, however it is, we have this. I think they traced it back to this being, it used to be an eyelid that went this way. Maybe we were on, Mars swimming underwater and seeing and shit. But I'm just saying that evolution, that's not nature make mistakes, but the way we guide it does. So Like, so why are the Greys? What, they don't have optic nerves? If the Greys are us, right? If we evolve into the Greys somehow, which is essentially where evolution's pointing. Because if you look at a barbarian or a brute, you think of like a big burly dude with a little brain, you know, me Tarzan, you Jane. But then, like, if you think of where we are now, we have a little bit less muscle, but we are using our heads more. And then where the Greys are, they're using their heads even more, but they're really scrawny because they don't need to lift shit because they could just like,
because their whole eye is an optic nerve.
Oh, well, that's a good one. That's why it's black, right? So their whole eye is the chromium.
Well, black means it absorbs all colors.
Right.
Oh, damn. They're seeing the whole light spectrum?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. This is why I think that it's that easy for these things to be invisible to us. Because we, out of the light spectrum that we can see, it is, first of all, the whole light spectrum is like big. Out of that, there's like this much. And then out of that, we can see only like that. We can't see X-rays. Yeah. We can't see, what is that? Infrared? Nothing. We need cameras for all this stuff. So if something's operated in infrared mode or however they would do it, they could just chilling, hanging out there. We think it's another dimension, but it's really this dimension. It's just in a different spectrum of light.
Yeah. I can see that.
I don't think humans are from Earth.
That's at the... You said you don't what?
Humans are from Earth. I think Earth is a prison colony and that we're under constant drugs that keep us asleep and we're in a continuous state of hallucination. And so that's what Earth is. We're not from here. And a few of the reasons that
So it's like Matrix?
Well, hold on. You got to get the context first, right? Firstly, human beings have a very small brow. Cro-Magnon and Dawsonian human beings had a very big brow, and that protect them from the ultraviolet radiation of the sun over time. Now, every single species on this planet, except for nocturnal species, including fish, can look directly into the sunlight without being affected by the sunlight. Except for one, humans. Humans are the only species on this planet that cannot look directly into the sunlight without being hurt by the sun. Then you have the temperature diversions of the skin and so forth of when it goes out into the sun. All these proclaim that, and by the way, I'll tell you what evolution says of why this happens. So I asked an eye doctor and then I asked an evolutionary biologist the same question. I said, why are human beings the only species on this planet who have sensitive eyes to the sun? The eye doctor said, no, there's plenty of animals. She goes, dogs. I go, dogs can look directly in the sun. She goes, well, there's got to be others. I go, She goes, monkeys. I go, nope, monkeys can look directly into the sun. They all can look directly into the sun.
How do you know that, though? I never saw dogs do it.
I've looked into this. Now, here's the thing. Evolutionary biology says it's because modern-day Homo sapiens sapien evolved within the deep wooded areas. And they utilize this as a strategic pinpoint to basically take out Neanderthal and Dawsonian man in warfare. And I said, okay, if that's the case, then you should be able to go into the woods, like the Rhesus monkey, and have the same effect on them in the sense where their eyes are sensitive and their skin's sensitive. Guess what? They're not.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. I was going to say that too.
So what if we were brought here from another planet? We're brought here from a lower a place where the sun rays were not as strong, is not as bright. There wasn't as much UV radiation. Okay? And what if...
Ooh. Go ahead.
And what if they just are poisoning us this whole time, and that's why we die and don't live long lives anymore? Okay? And that we're in a continuous state of hallucination. And you want to know what the drug is?
DMT?
Oxygen.
Well, we produce DMT. Maybe you're using oxygen.
You breathe oxygen every day. What if oxygen wasn't a source of respiration? What if it was a hallucinogenic compound that was utilized to keep us in asleep, in enslaved asleep state?
That's weird because oxygen does the opposite. I mean, physically speaking,
it really does.
It makes you like invigorated.
Really does it? Oxygen is one of the worst things in the world for the human body. Oxygen oxidizes just about everything.
Yeah, but what about the therapy where you could literally prolong your life being in a oxygen tank?
That's pure oxygen.
Like Israel did it.
Inhale pure oxygen? No, we actually inhale 82% nitrogen.
Nitrogen?
Which we call air.
And helium.
So what if air was a concoction that produced a hallucinogenic state? Here's the thing is you would never know. And what if you were tripping right now? And what you consider tripping is life.
We're all tripping because we're all DMT running through our bodies.
Yeah.
Right
Everybody send me all of the other gases that you have, and I'm going to test them.
Yeah.
now. Nitrogen, oxygen, helium, and ozone. I think.
You know, that kind of goes back to the theory I had about we are a civilization with amnesia.
There you go.
Yes.
I've always said that because, you know, I think about the pyramids in that aspect, because if you ever look at how the Egyptians were with their society, they pretty much cataloged everything they did, from embalming to chariot making. I mean, just literally everything. But they have nothing about making the pyramids.
Because they didn't.
Nothing about. Yeah, I don't think they made them. Not to mention, if you look at all the carbon dating and stuff like that, the pyramids are older than the Egyptian civilization was. Technically, the pyramids are older than we thought that man was supposed to be.
Yeah,
so,
right. And then they found even older shit than that now.
Yeah, so I mean, so how does that happen?
I mean, I'm going to just say something to back up your theory of the prison planet and the thing that where we're from is not as sun. Think about this. We're 98.6, right? Normal body temperature. We can go outside right now. It's 50 degrees. I can go outside in a shirt, whatever. I'm fine. We could, Wim Hof, obviously, hikes Mount Everest in his boxer shorts. But I mean, if the temperature increased by 50 degrees, we'd be dead. So we can't have it any more hotter. In fact, if it increased 98.6, if it was 98 outside right now, which is your internal body temperature, you'd be hot. You'd be, oh my God, it's so hot out here. It's 98 degrees. But why? It's the same, but lower. So we have much more of a tolerance when you go down than up. And that might be in turn with the fact that where we're from, the normal temperature is a lot lower than here. Maybe it is in the 30s. Maybe that's the normal over there. And we're just like, if it's really cold,
What if the reason people all woke up during this whole COVID thing is because they're being deprived of the hallucinogenic substance because they're all wearing masks?
Yeah, but because you're breathing the same stuff. It's still through the mask.
You're filtering it and breathing less. So actually,
well, you're not filtering oxygen out of it.
You want to know one of the reasons that Wim Hof is so successful in his breathing technique, and it's not because of the oxygen.
The rate,
carbon dioxide.
Yeah, because he builds that up when you do that.
There's actually, your body has to be in a homeostasis of carbon dioxide to oxygen in your system. You need carbon dioxide in your system just as much as you need oxygen.
Wrestlers breathe in a bag for that reason.
That's right. And so what's happening when he's doing that is he's basically building up his carbon dioxide threshold in his body, which is energizing his cellular structures.
Yeah, because I did that with swimming too. I remember.
How do trees get their mass when they're growing?
The sun.
How does a tree grow? Where does it get its mass?
Photosynthesis.
Where does it pull its mass from?
The roots.
That's what you'd think, right?
The ground.
That it's taking all that ground material and putting it into the trunk of the tree, right?
The air. It's the
air. I think it's just it's got to be the air or the sun or
carbon
water.
Dioxide. What do trees give off?
Oxygen.
Dioxide. So the carbon is the tree.
Yo.
So they're literally feeding off of carbon dioxide, utilizing the carbon from carbon dioxide to build the base of who they are.
So the trees are the things that are giving us this drug, essentially. If you think about it, they put a bunch of plants. They're like, these plants will keep them stoned.
Well, it's it's a combination of things because you have like nitrogen that's produced by a lot of algae and a lot of fungi and these types of things. But it is our ecosystem, these plant-derived ecosystems that do that. Now, this is crazy because, what if that was true? I mean, seriously.
Well, there's a lot of there's theories that support that with the moon and stuff. They're saying that they're using the moon to block our senses. So like we have the third eye. Some of us are waking up, but like if they weren't doing what they're doing with the moon, we would be like super advanced. But apparently it's the Draconians. The Dracos are like using the moon as a reflector beam of this, whatever they're using to stop us from being powerful.
Taken forth on this prison planet, let's go to Egypt now. What Glenn was talking about. Think about this. You know why the Egyptians have no methodology for how they built the pyramids? Well, Glenn said it.
Because they didn't build them.
And the way I looked at this, you remember that History Channel TV show that was After Earth? And they showed what the Earth would look like 100 years after humanity left. 500 years.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rushmore.
I want to put a conceptual perception in your mind. If there was a massive tidal wave, like a big flood like biblical times, 85% of the world's population currently, right now, lives on the coastlines.
Yep.
If 85% of the world's population was wiped out, 15% left, you would not have enough engineers, doctors, scientists, or anything to sustain civilization. Civilization would literally be thrown back into caveman days. Okay?
Yep.
That means that books would turn into oral traditions, that in 100 years, one generation, you would have stories of this old world would be mythology, would be unbelievable. Yeah. You guys had flying stuff. I'll show you one. Oh my God, it's decaying, but how did this ever fly? It would look like the pyramids, right? 500 years into the future, they wouldn't believe half the stories. Half the stories would be like, there was once gods that flew through the sky and they delivered humanity to different vessels, right? Like, you would hear these weird stories because people couldn't conceptualize
it. Did you just Waterworld?
Right.
Pretty much.
Just Waterworld.
But here's the beauty of it.
Yeah, you went straight Waterworld on.
But here's the interesting thing.
Man.
Is let's say that this was ancient Egypt and some dude walks out, claims a new piece of land, opens up this piece of land and sees a brand new Ford F-150 Lariat, fully fueled, in mint condition with the keys in the ignition. And he goes and he's starting to touch it and he's like, what is this? They're like, our ancestors told us about this. And he carves his name on it, Cheops. This is mine, I claim it. And he goes in and he starts playing with it and he starts it up. And everybody's like, oh, the gods. And they start bowing to the Ford F-150. And he revs the engine and they go, you have the power of the gods. And he rules over those people and more people to come. He runs over the naysayers. And he rules over them for 20, 30, 40 years. Till eventually all that's left for his family is the stories of how he rained terror down onto the people with the Ford F-150.
I mean, that 100% makes sense.
And now it's a relic that no longer works, but he still utilizes it as the key to his throne of power.
And they found like the little amulets where they look like airplanes. Like, it's because, like, if you've never seen an airplane, but someone else has, how are you going to describe what that is to someone that's never seen one? And then you die, and then they have to describe what you described to them.
Yep. And they call it the golden bug.
They call it the golden bug. That's right.
Golden bug. Yeah, or a cloud from in the book of Ezekiel.
No. Literally, that little toy that looks like an airplane.
Yeah, I know exactly.
The golden bug. That's crazy to me, isn't it?
I mean, look at the book of Ezekiel. The first passage in the book of Ezekiel in the Bible says that he saw a cloud that came down from the sky with amber light emanating from it. Okay, and out of this cloud with lights coming from it, there emerged 4 creatures with the likeness of man.
Flaming wheel.
I mean, if that's not a freaking spaceship, I'm sorry. Like, he doesn't know what a spaceship looks like, so to him it looks like a cloud.
Have you read the book of Enoch?
No.
You need to read the book of Enoch.
Yes, I have.
Not a long read.
Who's the book of
Where they're talking about the
Bible?
Nephilim, the giants,
the giants, the
aliens.
Watchers.
Yeah, I've heard about. I've heard about. I haven't read the book, but I know about the Nephilim. I know about the. Did you see the gate closing in Ireland or the England?
Oh, is this on the side of the mountain?
Giant rock. Yo,
I saw that shit.
That was crazy
stuff. There's so much crazy stuff. How do we get away from? We got straight away from shadow people.
Yeah, this happens a lot.
This is
Insomniac hour. We kind of just.
Oh, so let me tell you the story that I was on about when you said they don't really take the appearance of animals. So, the high school that I went to is called Millersburg Military Academy in Kentucky. It's actually like ranked the 5th most haunted attractions in Kentucky. It used to be a plantation, underground railroad, all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stories about stuff that happened. Well, anyway, I was playing basketball on the team, and we went down to the mountains way out, and we got back super late. And I think it was like October going into November, so it's kind of cool outside. So they have the boilers rolling. But when the boilers are rolling, you can't regulate that heat, so it's way too hot. So they have the doors open in the dorms. And now this place is 3 stories. The bottom basement, of course, the middle is where the classroom is, and the dorms are up on the 3rd floor on top. Okay. Now it's a long corridor style, like 2 doors on the one door on the end, one end, one door on the other. Long corridor, all the rooms in between, right? So we come up, me, my friend Rodney Robinson, and Kyle Noka come up the stairs, and it's dark. It's like I said, it's early in the morning. It's like 2:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And we get upstairs and start walking down the hallway, and we see a dog. Now, we can see it is a dog. It's like the outline of a dog. And, you know, that's not uncommon because, you know, sometimes the dogs like to come inside to get out of the heat, and they're just the strays from around the neighborhood. Right. They're friendly. They're usually friendly. So, you know, I'm like, hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm like, hey, buddy, how you doing? What's up? And it looks like his tail is wagging. I was like, come here. You know, call it toward. And as it's coming forward, you still can't make out features of this dog at all. You just see literally the shadow of this dog. And as it starts to get, I'm getting goosebumps remembering that crap. So as it's getting closer, it appears to be getting bigger. Now, as it gets bigger, I'm getting scared. Rodney's scared, and I know Kyle was freaking out. Kyle was about to jump down. Did somebody die that day?
Did somebody die that day? Or like the day after?
No. We do. There is a curse on that school, though. But
I'm just saying a hellhound came to pick them up.
Man, so crazy. Don't you know? Like, as the dog got toward us, we still can't see the features, and it's growling. It turns around, runs back to the other stairwell, jumps off the top. Just whoop, whoop, that's crazy. Jumps off the top. Like I said, we're 3 stories up. We kind of look at each other real confused, and then we run over there. You know, like I'm like, this dog just committed suicide. So, like, right, like what just happened? So that's we run over there, and we look down. Nothing. There is nothing there. So we freak out. We go to Colonel Hall, who was one of the of course, teachers who lived there. We're knocking on his door and stuff like this. Like, Hearn, hey, listen. So he gets up, and we're like, listen, there was just a black dog upstairs, jumped over the rail, and blah. Oh, he said, oh. Now this is his accent, so I do a horrible impression of it, but just bear with me. He says, oh, okay. Well, you saw the black dog. See, the black dog was here back in the 1800s, and there was this mean little of a kid, and he used to take these dogs, and he would throw them off the stairs up there, and, you know, sometimes every now and then you'll see one of those dogs. And I'm like...
Well, you see, like, that's the difference. Man. I don't think shadow people are ghosts, essentially. I mean, I think there's both. I think there's spirits and shadow people. And the black dog, I've only heard of this one time, and it comes from truckers. People out on the road a lot. And they're sleeping, you're always staring at the road. You're always looking at the same thing. And what happens is truckers will see a black dog sitting in the road, and it will start running at the car, and then they would swerve, and then they would get into. That's like a legend. There's actually a movie about it called Black Dog, I think. And I think Patrick Swayze was the guy. But anyway, the point is I've heard that myth or that thing, but that was the only time I've ever heard of a dog like shadow person. But the shadow people, I think, first of all, there's different types of them, right? So there's ones that sit on your foot of your bed when you have paralysis, like Vince described. There's another guy called the Hat Man, which is stretched behind me, and he's always got a hat on. Looks like he's got like a what is that, Dick Tracy hat or whatever, and then he's got, some of them have red eyes, some of them have like light eyes, and some of them have none, but then they have the hat. Then there's the Mothman from the Mothman prophecies, which was kind of like a shadow being, but not. Like they saw this giant moth thing and it predicted, obviously.
Yeah, they call him like a cryptid. Yeah.
Right. And then there's the the tall man. The tall, lanky. So I guess Slender Man? Is Slender Man or just, he's like,
they're 2 different things, I think. Slender Man's like something else.
Right. So, so these things are just like super tall, and they'll stand outside your house, like under a tree, always under a tree. Like I've read a bunch of these reports, and it's like the guy, like there was a tall, dark figure, really tall, standing under a tree and just looking up.
Now,
and then they see him. I'm getting.
Do you remember that show Fringe?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Watchers from Fringe?
Yeah, I do.
What's that? I don't think I know what that is.
The television show Fringe, you definitely need to watch it if you haven't.
Right.
But basically it is a crazy scientist creates a rift between two universes. Shit starts to leak over between. Weird events start happening. But there's time travelers from the future of a genetically altered human being that has increased their brain power by getting rid of emotion. And they're called Watchers, and they come back and they're basically observing all of the changes that happen with Walter and everything like that, of how they put the rift.
Oh, you can't see it.
And so
the Fringe Observer,
right?
Yeah, I see it.
The Observer, that's it. And then also, I mean, you have what is it? The something bureau. What was the Adjustment Bureau?
The Adjustment Bureau. Yeah, because I was going to say that with Matt Damon.
The Adjustment Bureau. Then you have the Men in Black. Have you seen that one of the Men in Black that walks into that work area and?
Yeah, it makes her give him the gun and stuff.
Yeah.
That was freaky.
He had no eyebrows, no facial hair, no real features like that. Weird.
So like I've had that theory before where in the future, like we could go into the past, but just as avatars. And it's basically like a remote control. Like you have an Xbox controller and you can go back to today to my room. And for the most part, humans don't see them. But on the odd chance that we do see them, we see them as spirits. So like you'll see a ghost, but it's really just somebody from the future just checking stuff out, like using a remote control. Which is why like the Hat Men makes sense because they were just there like scoping the place. I also think remote viewers, you could see them too sometimes. Because they're not really there. But like, because I had a person that I gave the gateway experience to, and he started doing it, and once he started astral projecting, like not frequently, but like every once in a while, he started seeing three figures. One was lower, and the other two were higher, which is usually the remote viewer is either laying down, the viewer himself, or sitting. These are professionals, like they go into the trance. Then they have the monitor, and then they have the other guy that takes notes. And the monitor always tells the remote viewer, like, no, too much imagination. Back up. And he like, if you ever heard the Mars exploration remote viewing session, when the guy went to Mars, like they sent a remote viewer to Mars, like however long ago, and he described trenches that were on Mars that now we're seeing are there. But there's, how the hell could he have known, So this guy said that he started seeing him for about a month, and then he got freaked out. He stopped doing the gateway experience, and they disappeared. So, once you're like registered with enough energy up there, they're going to send some people your way to check you out, make sure you're not doing something you're not supposed to do, like becoming more powerful.
Yeah,
it could be
becoming more aware.
I mean, that's what power is, being aware.
Yeah, awareness. Yep. See. And it's that. Gosh, now y'all got me thinking.
What I think it is.
Because gateway experience is not friendly. I don't think.
I think it is. I think it's very. I think you have to get into it to a high degree. You have to know yourself, and you have to trust yourself, and you have to protect yourself. Fred knows what I'm talking about in the sense of protection. But what I think a lot of the paranormal things are, shadow people, ghosts, all these things, are dimensional bleed over and overlapping time frequencies through octave variation. So if you think of the universe as Nikola Tesla did, frequency, vibration, and energy, right? That means the unfoldment of time is the same thing. It's just a relationship of energy, which means that it's going to go through various octaves, and that each octave lays over another octave. Right, so we talked about this the other night, Dmitri, in the sense of an F sharp is a G minor. They're the same note.
Like a ripple of the.
So those two are nodes of where basically things cross over. So if you are existent in a point, a space and time that is one of those node points, you're going to have that bleed over of various events, especially emotional events that can transcend that veil. And that's why they appear in the shadows. That's why they appear, as ghostly and invisible and these types of things. And that's why certain things will start moving. And you imagine being in like 1859 and like seeing car keys on your table and going, what the hell are these? And throwing them off. And then you're here sitting here going, dude, my car keys just fucking flew.
Like, what is
right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of.
Yeah.
I saw one today, but it wasn't a shadow person. I was at work, and it was just like Vincent described with his towel. Like it wasn't my fucking towel, but so it was just like it was the kitchen, and I was walking by, and out of my peripheral, I see the bartender that I was working with walking away. Like I saw her take 2 steps and walking away to the point where I didn't even recognize it at first. But then I just looked to to acknowledge her, and she wasn't even there. She was like she was at the bar. But I'm telling you, dude, like I saw her, like her legs, I saw her black shirt, and her arms were like skin color arms. You know what I mean? And I was like, holy shit! And then I looked, and she wasn't there, and I was like, whoa. So what you're saying is it's possible that I could have just seen a little bit of the future or the past, or her walking in another time. And I just happened to like pop into that. And that's with the freaking optic nerve peripheral bullshit. Because that's exactly where it was. It was right in your blind spot. And as soon as you look at it, it's gone.
There you go.
So you got to like almost try to focus, like see, like the angle of where you could just leave it there and check it out. Because I'd like to observe one of these fucking things.
Well, now you know what it is.
Maybe even catch one. Okay. Stretch, you good with that?
I'm waiting for that fucking creepy dude to move, man.
Oh,
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you.
That's why
I feel like he's been blinking this whole time.
Imagine he just fucking grabs me. Oh shit!
Like I'm telling you, I think he's been blinking this whole time. It's throwing me off.
I don't even see his head. Does he have a head?
Those little beady eyes are creepy.
They can.
Ooh, yeah, he's got a little hat. He's got a hat.
Just little pinpoints. I don't like that.
All right, I'll give you. I'll do another one. I have another one.
Oh
God.
That's all I'm gonna tell you now. I'll turn into a track star. That crap happened.
Well, that's the thing though. Is like I've seen these a bunch of times. I've seen what happens is like with me, I'll see them and it's the corner of my eye. And first I'll think I have like mice or something because I definitely there's no question in my mind that I see something move. Period. Not fall, but just move, like shift, you know. And they'll look over and maybe I think, oh, maybe there's a mouse that ran across somewhere. But then it starts happening in the middle of the room, like here-ish. Like there's no mouse here in the middle of the air, you know? So then I start seeing them and they're not, I don't see like a shape or an outline, but I just see something move. And it's not all the time and it's not frequent. It's only once in a while. And it doesn't matter if I'm tired or not tired. Because sometimes you're fatigued, drunk, drugs, like, yes, I've seen it when I was stoned. I've seen it when I wasn't stoned. Like just weed, you know what I mean? Like I've seen it when I was tired, but I've seen it in the morning when I wasn't tired. Like I've seen it at all points and fluctuations in time. And the one thing that I can say for a fact is that it makes them go away is cursing.
Cursing.
When I say get the fuck out of my house and I start cursing, just dropping F-bombs, they leave. They leave. They don't come back. And the only reason I do that is because my ex-girlfriend, she was from Peru, and she's like, I told her about this, like wondering what she was going to say, like hoping she wasn't going to like freak out. And she goes, oh yeah, all you have to do is curse and they'll leave. And I'm like, what? She's like, just curse it then. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, my grandmother told me. And I was like, oh, okay. So I tried it and it fucking worked.
Hold on.
Like, what?
The Japanese have the same thing.
And you know why?
Crazy.
The Japanese have the same thing.
Say what it's called again.
A curse. I get it. I understood. I got it right away. But I'm telling you, it works, man. But you got to mean it, though. You got to get out of my house. You know? Like,
yeah, it's a symbolic representation of the sigil, of the actual verbal word.
That's powerful. According to to some people or to some beings.
It's pretty messed up that the word "fuck" works just the same as Jesus.
Yeah, it does. There was a dude that did a whole. He's like, he was an Indian guy. He had a turban on. And he was like, one of the most beautiful words in English is the word fuck. It could mean action. It could mean pleasure. It could mean like everything.
The Indian guy. Yeah,
it was so. Yeah, it was so good, and he was totally laughing his ass off the whole time too. But like, it was great. It was such a good point to make.
I wonder what would happen.
But how you use the word.
The next exorcist, a Catholic priest, did. He goes in there and the word of fuck compels you. The word of fuck compels you. I wonder what would happen.
Jesus says, "Get the fuck out of that body."
No.
That's it, right? Imagine that's all it took.
Well, you know why? Man. You know why they probably start leaving when you start cursing? Have you ever watched like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters? If you were in a room and you're in one of these dark hotels and it's supposed to be haunted, and the ghost started saying "fuck you," what would you do?
right
I
the
would
fuck
get the
out.
fuck out of there. So what if that's actually what
That's
you were
true.
doing to them?
Good. I mean,
What
I
if
get
that
sorry,
was
but get the fuck out.
200 years in the future, someone walking through these
Yeah.
old abandoned houses, and all of a sudden you had
You're
this
in their
old,
reality.
this Russian, raspy Russian voice, fuck you, get out, fuck you, right?
Dude, it's like,
Dude,
in
we
their
heard the
reality-
mean
seconds
Russian,
in
we
their-
heard the mean Russian, oh my god, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
I
So
think we're
yeah,
about
we're,
to
we're all
about
hunting our own. Yeah.
to touch on the same thing. I think, Vince, is that
Sure.
in both perceptions, one is a ghost, the other is a ghost.
Yeah.
Both perceptions, they're ghosts.
So what are they doing watching over Vince while he's sleeping? What kind of freaky ass ghost is that? Or he,
Avoid
you
Or
know,
anything. What if it was
or in the
Vince in
future-
10 years in the future and we just developed time travel?
That's true. I was actually going to say that too. Like maybe it's
You're
you
muted.
getting a towel.
I was saying bad juju.
What if it was Kevin reincarnated 3,000 years in the future? They developed time travel and he just wanted to come say hi to his old owner. Meow.
You would do that.
Hey, what if the shadow
Oh my
person's
god,
like,
I'm watching ours on YouTube.
meow? Meow, meow?
I had a comedy bit like that, like because I said that like I heard a knock on my door, like a double tap, like a. So I just said, "Come in," you know, and you just carry on the conversation as if the entity, like, and give it time to respond. Like, come in, and the ghost is like, "Okay, what are you doing here? I didn't know you could hear me. Just floating around." He's like, "Can I check stuff out?" "Yeah, you got 2 minutes." Okay. And you guys, the ghost, are like, "How the fuck does this guy know I'm here?" Or like the FBI agents listening to your house, like, "Sir, we have a problem. There's somebody in the subject's house. This entity has, or this person has gotten past all of our cameras. We can't hear him. He's moving about silently, but the subject is communicating with them. How do they? Everybody get in!" You know, like,
And there's
it's
Bobby
crazy, but, like,
Jones.
I'll talk
Hey,
to-
guys, just making a sandwich. You hungry?
yeah. I'll talk to them. Like straight up. Like, what are you doing here? What do you want? Like, I'll pretend that they're there, and I'll like, "Do you need me to help you, or are you just here to try to fuck with me? Because that's not going to work."
You know what the
And then
You know
the
what the fucked up thing is about talking to them is when they talk back.
they know that you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no one has
Oh,
yet.
really? You don't get that? My
They talk back?
father passed away in 2015. I remember this year, 2021. I was driving in my vehicle. I was going to South Denver. I was stuck in traffic, and peripheral corner of the eye, I see the shadow person in the seat.
No.
Yeah, and I go, "Hey, Dad." And just like my dad was there, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And it was just the whole rhythm, it was the whole voice, it was everything. Didn't miss a beat. And it wasn't me talking to myself. Had a conversation,
That's
like,
crazy.
"Thanks for visiting me, man." You know, and then gone. Just like that.
Oh, you talk to him?
Absolutely.
Like you
had
had
a
like a
conversation
full
for
on?
like 10 minutes.
No, I never done that.
Really?
No. No. I mean, not that I know of.
No. Sure.
Well, I had
No. I have never heard like
Really?
things because I would have been like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. Probably
I
wrong.
will say I've never had a conversation, but I did have one respond to what I said.
Right. That's happened to me
Yes.
before.
Yeah, I've had one respond. Like me and my wife used to have this old farmhouse back in West Virginia that we, used to live in. Place was flipping crazy, just all kinds of stupid stuff happened. But I'm a barber, so I'm off on Mondays. And Monday, since I don't sleep at night, I'm like, I'm going to stay at the house and I'm going to rest. And my wife was doing hair at the time as well. So we're just laying in the bed, and our new dog is sitting, we're cage training her to go into her cage. So we always would hear something running around upstairs, just like you can hear the little feet.
Right.
And like at first it used to freak us out, did it not, Mandy? At first it would freak us out. But this day I was just irritated, and I'm just sitting there like, it's just being a mess, just running back and forth. I'm like, would you mind stopping? And it stopped.
Sure, man.
Just
Yeah.
stopped.
That's weird.
Like, oh, my bad. Didn't know I was keeping you up. I mean, yeah. Just quit. Of course, it came back like later, like another week or so. But
So it's interesting because one thing about hearing them, and I guess I thought everybody could like hear that, is it's like tunnel hearing. So you don't hear it inside your brain like you do your thought, your guidance, your inner narrative. You don't hear it in both ears. You hear it in one ear, and it's like it's being talked to you through a straw. Does that make sense? Okay?
Yeah.
And so that's how, like, when I know when I'm talking to an entity that's actually physically real, other than something that's dimensional, where they communicate in my mind.
I'll have to try that because I've never actually listened for that. You know what I mean? I've never always just expected somebody to just be like, "Yo,"
So,
you know. But like, I've had what you.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm saying I had what you had, and the confirmation of what I've said in like the communicating in here. Like I know what they just told me.
So sometimes you'll hear like you know how like you get the tee in your ear, the tinnitus. Sometimes you'll
of course tinnitus. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll have that, but with no ring, and it feels like that in the ear.
Yep, I've had it.
But you'll hear Dmitri, or I hear it, Josh, just like that in that ear, from that, and I'm like always like, man, fucking, like you have to tune into it fast, because if you don't, you lose it. So I was doing a job in Watts, Compton, yeah. And we were staying in a hotel just outside of, I think it was just outside somewhere in LA. And I was sharing the room with one of the guys who was on my team. And I woke up early in the morning, California, and I have this happening to me. So I'm laying in the bed, and in my left ear, it's like this tunnel hearing, and I hear a little girl's voice. She had to be, I see her, 9 years old. And she's like, please don't hurt me. Please. Oh, no, please don't hurt me. And I hear a whole bunch of guys in the background, like, overwhelming this little girl's voice. Like, oh, my God, he killed us. I can't believe he killed us. And I'm, like, freaking out.
Yo,
I'm like, and this is only in one ear, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and so I wake the dude up. I'm with him. Like, hey, man, do you hear this shit? And he's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't hear anything. And so I'm like, do you mind if I turn on the TV? He's like, no, go ahead. And like testing the TV to make sure the TV wasn't on, you know, going on and off. And I turn it on and the news is on. And it's breaking.
Oh, man.
Breaking news. Senator Gabrielle Gifford shot. Four or five people dead, including a 9-year-old girl and 2 men. And I shit my pants. Not literally, but just about. It was like literally the moment it happened is when that happened to me.
So you heard them right after death. Oh my God, he killed us. Right there. So they were already in the.
Yep. And that's it's a power. I got goosebumps from telling that fucking story, but that was legit, and that's just one of the. And so I've heard it many times. I've heard, maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, maybe too much LSD, but you get this. Like tunnel audition in one ear, and it's like this voice. It's like Josh, and it's like you have to go into a meditation right now and just listen.
Oh, that's freaky.
What do you hear though? Like what happens after that?
Hold on 1 second.
That shit that just sounded like we were talking about. What the hell?
That was my daughter calling me, which is kind of weird. Hold on, just 1 second.
The tiger survived.
Hey, what's up?
That did kind of sound like.
Yeah, like tunnel vision. Right. Tunnel hearing. I was like, oh my God, he opened it.
He gives this explanation, and then just that of course happens. It's
great. Universal confirmation right there, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Kaylee, it's fine. Just come on over, okay? Okay, bye.
Hey, Dmitri, will you send me your background?
Sorry,
picture?
Daughter's on a sleepover, and it didn't go well, so they're on their way back.
Oh, what the crap?
That's the worst.
It's okay. So she's just come.
Okay, that looks like the dog.
I
got a new one.
What was someone saying right before I had to take that? Oh, what did they say to me? What is it? What are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know like do you guys understand like a download? What that means? What it is? How it works? Anybody ever had a download?
Kind of, yeah. Sure. So. I think I get them all the time.
It's like when you have. It's like an idea. When you see a picture of an idea, but the idea extrapolates into a whole fucking story. Does that make sense? Like when
Yeah.
you see one thing and it's like interconnected,
Yeah.
like a spider web to 1,000 things, but instantaneously you see all those 1,000 things. Does that make sense? So when
100%,
those types
yes.
of things happen, it's usually like Josh, right? And then all of a sudden it's you get that picture, you get that image, you get whatever it is, the package of data. And it doesn't all make sense at that time, but you have a good idea what it is, and you just forget about it. A lot of people try to write it down, but you're not meant to. And I call it the unfoldment theory. And basically is that we're given information by our higher consciousness throughout our life. And our higher consciousness basically gives us downloads. And these downloads are for the next journey in life and the next mission in life and then to hit our next objectives. And basically they unfold basically through waypoints. Is that you have to get to certain milestones in your life. You have to get to certain accomplishments. And then this information becomes known to you.
Checkpoints, yeah. That makes sense. That happens to me when I paint. Like I'll start painting because I never have like a goal while I paint. I just kind of go with it, whatever. And I'll be drawing like circles or this, and I'll draw like I'll see something in it, and it'll be like a flash. Like it'll be like two people on a street corner, but it just looks like it's hard to do because I don't have a background. But it just looks like random like geometry essentially, right? But then I'll look at it and I'll see a different image, and I was like, oh shit. And then it'll have a story behind it. It'll like I'll have a feeling of like why, or I feel sadness or like curiosity, and it's just like I still don't know what the hell it is or who I'm painting or what I'm painting, but it's definitely information that I did not have before, and I didn't just like come up with it. You know what I mean? Like it definitely got sent from something.
You know what would be cool practice for you, especially with all the size stuff that you do, is for people to give you target numbers, 6-digit target numbers. And you to actually just take them and paint them
and draw.
Kind of like remote viewing.
So I'll
right?
remote view. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yeah,
and see how close you come to
That's
the actual
idea.
Target.
That's cool. You guys should give me one right now.
What we'll do is we have Dean Radin coming on the show in August. And if you don't know who Dean Radin is, just go look him up.
Oh. Are we going to show him an experiment?
So that's what I'm saying is
like
we should do an experiment before and then present the results to him and see what he says. Because we've already done something similar like this on the social red pill. Like, and I shit you not, what we did is we had this, like, the daily meetings, people would go, we had a certain symbol that we created, and we'd all put our attention towards the symbol with one person sending a message. So the message would be like a rock or a stone or a shape or something of this nature. And everybody else is focused on the symbol, and they have to basically try to interpret the information. And what we found is people were getting it spot on. But other people were like, oh, I see spaghetti and meatballs. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually cooking spaghetti and meatballs, but I wasn't the one sending the message. We had another person who's like, I hear water, like waves. And someone's like, oh, I'm actually at the lake.
Gosh, you were near a shower running water one time.
One was a shower running water, and it was like uncanny how accurate it was. But basically what it is if you think about remote viewing is you're using the 6-digit number as a target, as a symbol, as a representation of the intention, the medium between that which you are trying to seek. And so what we did is we just replaced the target number with a sigil. And we give the sigil certain meaning in the sense of the context of being connected through time. Now, the older the sigil, the older the symbol, the more relevance it's going to have in the fabric of reality. And that's why if you use like certain symbols, like a cross or something like that, obviously it's hard to transfer a message through that because it has a long history that has a lot of intentional energy given to it.
Interesting.
That's very good.
I wonder if that's why people notice the spiral. Because I have like the spiral as my
is that from Westward?
The occult. No, I think it's an old painting or a picture of the occult. So it's like not like it's like it says like I'll show it to you. It's like breath. Then it says infrared, regular. It's like everything basically. The numbers, geometry, and I'll show you the full picture. But I just took the middle of it because I like the spiral. Because it's like the Fibonacci. Oh, look! I'm just getting it in my right ear right now. Yes, straight up. It just went beep. like a high tweeter kind of thing.
You
What
know,
do you want?
And I'll tell you, I think that is when you have that, it's actually non-local in the sense that it's not internalized, but it's externalized. I think that's the first telltale sign that you need to go into a meditation. I think tinnitus is really where you're actually transgressing frequency levels. It's like that radio dial being turned just a little bit outside of your frequency range, and all of a sudden, ooh, right? No signal.
Yeah, it sounded like higher. It's like 19,000, or like 18,000, like a dog whistle.
Bothered you, huh?
Well, maybe they want something. Who knows? Maybe I need to paint. Maybe I'm going to know. Watch me starting painting right now. And then you guys give me the number, make up the whatever it is, and then I've already started painting it.
Dimitri, I've been working on that for the past 5 minutes.
He's got you something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's probably why your ears were ringing. To be fair, I've got a sigil in 6 digits already picked out, so we're good to go.
So what if the?
So it's like it's like they started already. Start painting.
What if the tinnitus was actually an interdimensional you sending you a message in Morse code?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, wake up, man.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm
You gotta
stuck
paint.
behind this keyboard and I can't get out of this avatar. Shit. Wake up, beep, and then slam the keyboard. Beep, 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 beep. Getting mad because you can't disconnect.
I'm trying to do something.
The cheat code didn't work. You're still
up,
broke.
down, right, left, BA, select, start. What the hell?
Oh, man.
I can't get out. But,
sorry, dude. You're gonna have to stay here for a while with Mr. Stretch and Bright Eyes
so
over here.
What is that thing? What is this?
I just looked up shadow. I just looked up shadow people, and that's one of the things I got. But this one isn't this the one. Okay, so there's one time that I did DMT for the first time, like a couple of years ago, and it was in a pill form, and I didn't take a lot, just a little bit. But I took enough to like wooze out. So I was like laying in my hotel. I was in a hotel room. I was actually in Charlotte training for this job. And we met a couple of the servers. We went out. And long story short, that's what I got. So I'm laying there and I didn't see them. And it wasn't my peripheral, but I felt like I don't know how to describe it, but I felt 3 entities. And they were like, you ever see that movie with, what the hell's his name? The old Batman. He's the same guy. Michael Keaton. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
It was called White Noise, I think, or something like that. And it was like these 3 like TV static beings that like chased them or something after or whatever. But like it was just a silhouette of 3 people or 3 humanoid figures, I guess. And they were just kind of chilling there by my bed. And I had the feeling that they weren't there to like mess me up, but on the contrary, sorry, they were there to make sure that everything was fine. They're like checking on me kind of, but like in a good way. And then I was like, I didn't talk to them because I was like just laying there like, whoa. And then they went away. But ever since then, I've been painting them.
Wow.
712218. All right, fair enough. I don't know if there's a picture with that, but I'll start painting today. After this, and I'll just go. And then whenever I paint of the message, what is that? Who is that person? Is that Josh? I'm watching you too. I don't know. It's weird. We looking at?
Sorry about that.
Oh, this is Glenn. What is that? What are you pointing at?
It was my turn to freak y'all out, huh?
Oh
Glenn, you lost your tan is gone. What happened?
Actually, I was trying to get. How do I get my background not to be blurred? Never mind. I found it.
You just go none. Go to background none.
All right, check this out.
Thanks, JoJo. Oh man.
All right, so watch this little girl. This is the one I was talking about. This thing's gonna come right beside her.
Oh, I see it.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That was freaky.
Yeah.
That was freaky.
Slows it down. Look.
It fades in and out.
He was moving.
Yeah,
fast,
it looks
too.
like it was doing the Naruto run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It phased in and out really quick, but whoa.
That was a good one.
Runs right in front of her.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't want that in my life.
See what I mean? This is the weird stuff that I want. Thank you to the coronavirus for making me spend all this time on the internet.
Shit, we all figured out the world, man. Man, they're trying to kill us.
Like,
Yeah.
they're trying. Daggone you, Bill Gates, buying up all those potato farms and selling your potatoes to McDonald's, and now I can't eat McDonald's French fries because I feel like you're trying to take people out.
You know what's interesting about the whole COVID thing is I really do think it backfired on them unbelievably. I think that Trump came in at the exact point to falter their plan to where it basically became a conscious awakening to where people became so awake under Trump with what was happening that when COVID hit, they couldn't shut anybody up. I don't think it was supposed to go down that way. I think it was supposed to be obedient sheep, put your mask on, shut up, stay home, lock down, and done.
Or
you still got people wearing their
violent, and then martial law.
Oh,
they were getting the Coast Guard ready. They were getting everybody.
What are you showing us here?
Well, you still got people wearing their masks now. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to stop. Look at me.
I had the health inspector come today while I was in the middle of this crazy rush, and she was wearing like a freaking gas mask. It looked like it was like I was like, Jesus, lady, like,
what
relax.
are we about to see here?
But I mean,
watching the Ghost of Carmel, man. He's telling you about the place and how it was a mortuary. Watch this window. This one's a nuts one.
Is this where the thing drops down from the window?
In this investigation of his house, an odd voice seems to repeat what Ken is saying.
I think I heard a knock on that door.
You ever see the South Park episode about this show?
It sounds like
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
in this clip, Ken begins to hear strange noises.
Oh, here it is. This is the one.
Coming from his
Check this out.
bedroom. So he grabs his camera and starts recording.
What was that?
Hold on, man.
Yeah. Here it goes.
You guys say something or do something. Oh my!
What the hell was that?
No. Oh.
What
You
was
see
that? Yeah, it was a silhouette.
Yeah.
Just chilling. But those are ghosts, so I don't think it's the same thing as shadow people.
No.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
I don't
my
know.
goodness.
I don't know.
Two of them. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's chilling.
Yeah, there were two. Looks like
There's one that came from the side, and there's one standing there.
He's posted many videos of his ghost encounters over on his YouTube channel.
That's
Ghosts of
crazy,
Carmel,
man.
So be sure to check it out for his full ghost investigation.
Oh, I see the other one.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So you know what's crazy about that is that's probably some old dude like yelling at them at some different time, like, get out of my room!
What are
you? Get out of my house!
Oh, shit. I feel like they're trying to pull a Sydney from a scary movie. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Just spin around in a circle. Oh, man. But yeah, hey, if you get a chance, like I said, that's at Nuke's top 5. Oh, man.
I'm not watching that. No, hell no. Nope.
Definitely not before bed.
Oh, they got some. I'm telling you.
I don't need any more imagination.
I don't do horror before bed.
Yeah, no.
That's a.
I guess I'm a weird one because I definitely I'll sit there and watch this. And I'll fall asleep to this.
No way. That's why I'm never going to sleep.
Yeah.
And if I do horror, I have to do like something really, really like cheesy and funny, like right before bed, like an episode of Family Guy right before after that. Like that.
I have had to do something like that. The what movie was that? When I first watched The Conjuring, I had to turn on Disney or something like after it was over. I can't remember what movie it was, but yeah, it got me good. Might have been. Nope, it was The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
I don't like those movies.
Yeah. That's what it was.
I hate horror.
One of the scariest movies I think I've ever seen, and it wasn't even supposed to be like a horror movie. I guess kind of was Event Horizon.
God.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yep.
Remember that one with the spaceship that went to hell and came back? Oh my God!
Yeah.
Liberate tutte me ex inferis. I was like, oh my God, save yourself from hell.
It says save yourself from hell or something.
From hell. Yeah.
Y'all
First he says save me, Yeah. He was saying, the guy was saying, liberate me, but he goes, liberate tute me, ex inferis.
Yeah.
Shit.
What's this one?
A little too
Y'all
late
see
for
it
that.
on the bed?
Hold on. There we go.
All right, check it out. So he was he bought a house too and just found some really freaky, weird stuff kept happening.
Burn it.
Watch his bed when he walks by.
Oh,
the hell
shit.
was
What the
that?
fuck was that? Was that even a thing? Was that a blanket or some shit?
Nope.
Because when he walked in there, that wasn't
Man,
there.
Yo, that
Oh,
is
man.
like that is a shadow and a half. That thing is
That
black as
thing's like,
night.
I'm laying
like
down
it's
on this
what-
fucking bed.
that's nothing that's blocking the light. That's like a void. You know what I mean?
No, there's arms. You can clearly see arms and everything.
There's everything. Wow.
Why is he laying down?
And continues his house
Ghost
tour.
got
So he
sleep,
hold on,
man.
he's gonna go right back. He goes right back to it. Look, nothing.
Nothing.
Anything was ever there.
He's standing up now. It's by the curtain.
Ghost gotta sleep, man.
Yeah. So he finds out that room, he rented this house from somebody else, and the guy had actually died in that bed, and he had some mental instability, and he had died in that bed, and they didn't even find the guy for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and he like decomposed and decayed in that bed.
So,
Josh, you remember we were talking about the other day about the mental what is that called? When you have a thought, it's a mental imprint or whatever.
the neurological imprints.
Neurological imprint. So what if that thing in his bed was a neurological imprint that transversed
It
through
was
time
there. It was
of the guy
basically
dying?
a reality imprint, an energetic imprint in reality
Right.
that was left, which means that when you walk by it, it stimulates a neurological imprint in your brain, allowing you to perceive the emotional trauma that was experienced in that bed.
Right. And when you look at it, it's not there because you're paying attention with your five senses versus
That's right.
the one you should be looking at it with.
It looks like what they would have described as a shade or a wraith.
Yeah, it does
back
look
in
like a
the-
wraith. So, interesting story. We moved into this house right after my father had passed away. So it was a really weird time because, like, me and all my brothers, like, one day we were talking, and my oldest brother's like, yeah, dude, Dad visited me in my dream last night. And then I was like, dude, Dad visited me in my dream last night. And then my other brother's like, dude, he visited me in my dream last night. And it was like all the same thing that he told us. And it was like, what? Right? Like, holy shit. And, our father is the type of person that if there is an afterlife, he's definitely going to make contact and tell you about it. And he definitely did. But, so I buy this house. Don't know anything about it. Made in 2004. And my kids both have their own rooms. And you just get this weird feeling when you walk away from my kids' room that someone is watching you. And I got the feeling over and over and over. Well, then I started seeing shadows upstairs. Out of the corner of my eye, shadows everywhere. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a saging of the house. Right? So I opened all the windows. I got a really old Bible here. And I went through, I said some good affirmations and words to cast them out. I forgot what prayer it was. And I saged the whole house, did corner to corner, except I didn't do the basement. So, not thinking anything of it, right? Like, weeks go by, months go by, the house feels great, renewed, refreshed. We meet the neighbors, we're over there, and we're talking to the neighbor, and she goes, oh, man, so tragic what happened there. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, oh, you didn't know. Well, right,
Just stop talking.
the summer before you guys moved in, they were painting the bathroom in that house. And the guy who was painting it, him and his son were painting it. His son was downstairs. He didn't feel well, so he went in, found the homeowner, and said, hey, I'm not feeling well. Is it okay if I take a shower? Because he was overheating. So he went into the shower. She goes up there like 20 minutes later and finds him dead of a heart attack in the shower. and he died in the bathroom, which is
Oh,
right next to
shit.
the kids' room. So the kids' room's right here, and the bathroom's right here where he died. And so I'm like, oh my God, everything's making a lot more sense now. So about a week later, we had cable installed, and I had a TV downstairs in the basement. I had a PA, not a PA, but like a speaker system set up there. And I'm outside, and I smoked cigarettes at the time. And I'm like out by my hot tub in the side area, and like then there's the egress window that goes down to the basement. And nobody had been down in the basement for weeks. The lights are on, and I see flashing lights, and I hear the TV full volume on. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, maybe one of the kids went down there today, turned the lights on, right? Turn the TV on. So I go, put my cigarette down. I go downstairs. I go in there, and the TV was loud. I mean, like, loud. So I turn the volume all the way down. I turn the TV off. I turn the lights off, and I go back outside, and my cigarette was still burning. I pick up my cigarette. The light's back on. The TV's back on, and it's back full volume again. And I'm like, okay, this is odd, right? And I'm like, maybe there's, maybe I hit something, a light switch. I don't know. It's a new house. I go back down there, go through all the steps again. And so this time I'm turning off the light, and like everything's off. And you get the sensation like something is watching you. I just got goosebumps. And so I turn off the light, and I'm like, go up the stairs. But you know how you go upstairs, and all of a sudden you start running up the stairs? It was one of those, and I close the door, and I'm like, whew. I go back outside, same cigarette. I shit you not.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Full glare. So
Burn the house,
Jeff,
that's it.
our co-host, was there. He experienced this. Lights are on, volume, TV volume. I'm like, dude, what the? So I go down and I unplug it from the wall.
There you go.
Turn off all the lights. And I'm not doing this for dramatics here. I go back upstairs. TV's on, full volume. I shit you.
Is it plugged back in?
No.
Okay. Yeah, burn the house. That's it. Forget it.
Yeah.
We're moving.
Yeah.
No,
We're moving.
honestly,
We're leaving
honestly,
today.
I went down there and I'm like, what's up? Who are you? What's going on? Why are you doing this? Right? And I talked to it, and I asked it politely to leave. And we very rarely have heard of it since.
See, this is what happens
So
in like.
leave. Just
I
shut
think
up.
so. It's pretty,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. So.
This is why horror movies always work out bad for people.
Hold on. I got
Right there. Too curious.
Hold on. Is this a horror movie?
What? No. This is that Ghost of Carmel, Maine.
He's looking in a mirror, or he's looking in a room.
No, that's the actual room. He's just standing outside the room, trying to get this thing to right there.
Yep.
You see it?
Yeah.
Damn.
That looks like he's had a hat on, though.
Oh, what the hell?
Maybe not. I don't
So
know.
I was in. You guys want to get freaky? Let's talk some freaky shit. All right. So I went to. I was engaged to get married when I was in the military to a woman who lived in Switzerland. She lived in the canton of Biel in a city called Utzwil, just outside of Zurich. The city itself, incredibly old. The building she lived in was made, I believe, in 960. 960. Like the year 960.
Dang.
What the?
Yeah, old cobblestone building, just... she lived in the basement area, so other parts had been built on top of it, but it was like underground that so it was kind of like a road like this. Her apartment went down like this, but then it was like a ledge of a cliff, and so it overlooked the rest of the village. Absolutely amazing. So I get there, and immediately when I walk into her apartment, I'm like, no. And she's like, what's wrong? And she comes from a line of gypsies. And I'm just like, dude. She goes, don't worry, you'll get used to it. It's nothing bad. And I'm like, okay, so I settle down, and I'm kind of like just trying to feel around. And she goes, I'm going to run to the grocery store. I'll be right back. I'm like, okay, cool.
Said, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she like
You
it's
stay,
their
I'll go to the
culture to
grocery
kind of
store.
like just you stay here, get familiar with the house, get the feeling of the energy of the house. I'll be back. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lay down. So I lay down in the bed, and I dream of this dude. It like this black butcher things that they wear, like the black cloak that the butchers wear in front, so they don't get
Yes, my
the
apron.
black leather apron, and this guy's got knives, and he's just chopping up humans, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm seeing it.
Boris
I'm
the
seeing it
Butcher.
as if it's like in my mind, right? Like in my mind's eye. And this is the energy I get. And he's just laughing.
That's like Diablo 1. The
So-
first boss of Diablo 1.
So she gets back.
No.
And I'm kind of like, I'm out on the balcony now and I'm smoking. And I'm just like, I don't want to stay in this place. And she gets back and she's like, so did you meet the butcher? And I'm just like,
Oh, see?
yeah. She goes, don't worry. They can't hurt you, can't do anything. She goes, the history of this place is it's a butcher used to live here and died here. And it found out that he was a serial killer. And she goes, I love this place.
Shit.
And she was all, because she loves horror and all these types of things. And I'm just like, fuck this. But
I'm marrying
no,
this girl?
I did not. I yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah,
Obviously.
that's shit, man. There was one night when my hometown, and we were partying out in the woods. There's like lots of different backwoods, and this is a fucking spooky story, man. So there is rumors that there was like witches, like satanic witches doing rituals out in the woods area. So we'd always go out there and look for their fires or something like that. And one night there's like this, it's kind of like a horseshoe opening in a field, and there's like this lone grouping of trees in the middle, and there's this little fire pit. And right next to the fire pit, the coals were still hot, and we came out there, we were drinking. And on the tree line, you start seeing these like white figures just kind of like hovering. You can tell they're not people, they're not silhouettes, they're not animals, but they're just like white blots, okay? And all of a sudden you hear, and they start screaming.
The fuck?
And we looked in, like, goosebumps. We looked and we're like, run! Never, ever went back there again. They were banshees. So, but just get the fuck out of Dodge. Fuck that shit. That was
Quick, fast, in a
fast
hurry.
in a hurry.
Oh, shoot.
Man, I got a
Butcher
lot more.
stories. Yeah.
Butcher scary. It wasn't really that bad. It wasn't like you didn't get an evil sense. You didn't get like this deathly sense. You just got this guy having a good time chopping.
Yeah, he was just kind of.
Yeah, it seriously was. It was like, besides being grotesque, it wasn't like. There was a lot more there too. There was a lot more there. So we grew up on. So Jason, my other co-host, we grew up on in this old town, and so a lot of the houses were built on Iroquois burial grounds, Iroquois Indian burial grounds. Our house that we grew up in was the first library built in 1809. And there we had the lineage of the families who all lived there. My oldest brother, after I had moved out, he broke 3 toes and 2 knuckles beating this figure that was hovering over him in the middle of the night that went towards his desk, and he was punching it in midair, and he destroyed his closet as the thing went in there. And he said that this thing had tormented me my whole life because he never moved out of that room, and he finally decided to fight back. My father used to drink a lot of vodka, and there's this old story my mom told me and my older brothers tell me of how he would be in the bathroom and a woman would walk down the stairwell, and the bathroom is like right here, and you come down the stairs like this and you can turn to the bathroom, and a woman in a white gown, tall, beautiful blonde, would walk in to the bathroom and then walk out, and she would always look at everybody who was on the couch right there. And telling my dad this story one time, my brother, who's now a psychotic schizophrenic, was telling my dad the story. And he goes, "Oh yeah, what'd she look like?" And he goes, "She had no face." And my dad just went ghostly white and was like, "Let's not ever talk about this again." So
he was like, "Well, this is when he knew he was done talking to you."
The house next door to us. So when I started growing up there, the house next door to us was turned into a realtor's agency. And my best friend during kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, his mom was a realtor that worked there. And the rule is nobody could be in there past daybreak. Once night turned, you had to lock the doors and just leave. Now, we never knew why, but every time that you walk by this house, this realtor's office, and one of the windows is pointed towards my house, it was like something. I remember Ghostbusters, what are they?
The green one?
No,
Slimy,
or
whatever his name is.
The lions, the ghost lions, or the dragons, or whatever they were, that guarded the gatekeeper. Mm-hmm. It was like these gremlins or whatever were like gargoyles. Right? It was like these gargoyles were looking out the window, just staring at you. I mean, every time I could take you there right now, and I would walk you around a whole town. Once you walk by that window, and I wouldn't tell you, you'd be like, "Dude, what the fuck was that?" I guarantee you. When you walk into this house, you get the same sensation. So I never knew what happened there until I got older and someone finally told me. So the people that used to live there, okay, their dad one night was with some friends and they dropped a whole bunch of LSD. And they went to their son's closet with a Ouija board. And they were fucking around and said, "Let's summon some demons." And so they started summoning demons, and they're tripping. They pick it up, and they just leave, and they just forget about it. About a week later, both of the kids at the time were 10 and 11 years old, run into their mom and dad's room and were like, "Mom, Dad, there's demons in our room." And their mom and dad are like, "Shut up." And their dad used to be very abusive and beat the piss out of them and sent them back to bed. And so the next night, they would run in the room and be like, "Mom, Dad, there's demons." And they'd be deathly scared. And the mom's like, "Maybe you want to go." And he's like, "Nope." Spanks them, puts them back in the room. All of a sudden, the next night, they start hearing, like, walls banging, stuff moving around, and the kids run out screaming, "Mommy, Daddy, there's demons in the room." And the dad walks in, and he says, "I shit you not. The beds are flying all over the place. Shit's flying all over the place." He said, "I grabbed my family and I got the hell out of there. They went to my dad's house, got my dad." And my dad's like, "I ain't fucking going over there." And so my dad called the local Catholic priest, and they got an emergency exorcism. And the next day, my dad said it was the clearest blue skies of a summer day in New York State you could ever have. He says the moment the priest put a step on that property, thick black clouds just came out of nowhere and started billowing in. It started thundering and lightning. The priest was in there about 20 minutes, walks out pale white. And after the priest leaves the territory, he said he'll never come back and condemn the place, and left. And all the clouds went away.
Yo, I have a question. Why is it always
bullshit you? That's a legit story, dude. Legit.
No, I believe you. I want to know why it's always Catholic priests that they call for exorcism.
That's what I'm saying. Is what if the Catholic priest goes in there and, you know, the voice of fuck compels you. The voice of fuck compels you. Right. I wonder what would happen.
Well, the reason why I think is it's more like, of course, Catholics were known to deliver rites, and usually when you have I don't know. Because I know my father-in-law has actually cast out demons.
I think anybody can.
So he's not a Catholic. He's a pastor.
I think that Catholic priest would probably be. I call it transcending the veil, right? And so when you dedicate your certain life to a discipline over time, and that discipline is representative of self-discovery and the discovery of yourself and God, you transcend that veil. And so when you transcend that veil, you're learned with certain skill sets, Fred will back me up on this, of how to protect yourself and how to protect others and how to get certain things to get that away from you. Now, I got a little book over here called Angels and Demons of the Ancient World. If you want to think that there aren't disembodied, so demon basically is Latin, daemon, and daemon means disembodied spirit, right? And so really what we have is jinn or demons, or really what these things are they could just be disgruntled. They could be pissed off. They could be angry. They could have been powerful, conscious beings that exist in a lower plane of dimension, and they're pissed because they can't ascend. Who knows what they are, right? But some of them have ill intention. Some of them could care less about you because they know far greater information than you. But the key is that there are methodologies to protect you, me, and everybody else against these things. And priests are trained specifically in these tactics. Spiritual warfare. And so that's really what it comes down to.
It's called the priest craft. Correct. At the end
Correct.
of the day. Not just being part of a priesthood, it's a craft. It's an art. At least it used to be. Now I'd say it's more of a dogmatic social club, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, because the other thing is they always throw crucifixes. You know, they throw crucifixes. They don't throw statues of Buddha.
Well, but here's the thing.
Do they?
Holy water.
What is the significance of the cross?
Well, yeah, I get it. It represents what the priest is trying,
Remember when we were talking about a sigil earlier?
Okay.
A symbol is a quantum representation of energy in the sense of probability on the physical form, which means that over spans of years, people give intention and energy to that sigil itself, right? So, which means that if you have trillions of people throughout history that have given attention to that sigil, whoever yields that sigil has the power of that symbol. That's a powerful statement right there, and that is the foundation of magic.
See. Have you watched? I know you guys have seen the Keanu Reeves version of Constantine,
awesome.
right?
Oh yeah.
Remember the beginning when he had all the different charms or whatever, and he had to find the right one. That's what they kind of reminded me of.
Well, and that's what they are. They're just various sigils. And so you can have, like, for instance, I have this guy. Right? Now, this is, I know you can't see it, but this is rose quartz, and it's a dowsing crystal. Now, I've had this for a very, very long time. Now, when I originally got this was a very interesting time in my life. We talked about this the other day in the sense of the magic and everything that was happening, the spoon, all that stuff. So this holds massive symbolic significance in the magical aspect of my life. So therefore, if I wanted to cast a magical spell in my life to basically influence it into reality or action, I use this one. Because it's been with me for a very long time. It has imprinted.
I like that it just popped up when you did that. I use this and it lit up.
And today I had a solar salesman come to my house. And so he's Laos.
Okay.
What's the picture? The
All right,
picture's the sigil?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
My apologies. That was my fault. I smacked my computer real hard and everything just crashed. So apologies. We should be back online now. So part 2 of Insomniac Hour.
Glenn took off too, by the way.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be out there. Okay. Okay, I gotta step away, but you guys leave the deal. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right.
Rock and roll. Hoochie coo. Now I'll finish my story about Laos in a minute.
Okay. So I want to talk about. So you got a number from Amicus, Dmitri.
Yep.
And you're going to paint.
Well, I have to look at that. All right. So basically, Amicus sent me coordinates, and I'm gonna use those coordinates to. I want to see this sigil. I sent you the thingy. Where's the thing? Where's Amicus? Oh, here we go. All right, I got the sigil.
Yeah, Glenn had to call it a night.
Yes.
Everyone.
I was thinking Hellhound. Dmitri, can you see the chat? No, I can't. I'm sorry, but I will soon. That was like a while ago.
Yeah, Tara had asked if you read anything by Christopher Moore.
I have not, but I will. Why not? All right, so I see the sigil. I see the number 712218.
Yep. So it represents kind of what I picked up and put the intention towards. So
Or, do you
Hopefully.
have something you're going to paint on?
I mean, probably a canvas. Yeah, I have blank canvas. I mean, I could take one of a. Well, usually what I do is I overpaint anyway. Like whenever I paint, I paint and then I paint too much. I paint too much, and I'm like, ah, crap. Like, so I like blot it all out or like smudge it out, so that when I actually do finish a painting, it comes out on this like cool background. So that's maybe I'll do one of those. Maybe I'll just like. I think I have a bunch of those overpainter things. So I'll put some isopropyl on it and I'll scratch it off, and then I'll put a base coat on again and I'll paint over that.
Or just put some black or white over
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on like I have one right now that turned out like a orange, like brown rust colored. And then I painted like turquoise and silver over it. So it like really pops. It looks nice.
So
I'm working on that.
cool. I'm excited to see your paintings, especially Redpill ones. You need to get with Roxy on the platform. She's amazing. Absolutely.
Who's Roxy on the platform?
We'll have to set up a meeting. We're
Yeah.
all the
Okay.
artists because I think we're going to do a big art thing too. But so
cool.
I'm sitting there and this guy's like really like, he's like, where'd you get that? Like, I shouldn't have had it. And he's like, well, I'm Laos. Where did you get that? That's my culture. And so I explained to him the story is like, well, weird story. I go to do my Reiki Master certification. I go to the basement of this building, and right when I walked through the door, I was like smacked by this energy. It was like walking through a mist of energy. And at the same time I walked into this mist of energy, it was like mine and this dude's mist of energy just smacked. We both looked at each other. He goes, did you feel that? I'm like, yeah, I felt that. And he's like, man, I think we were meant to talk or something. He goes, sit down next to me. Dude's like 6'4", you know, I'm not gay or anything, but good-looking white dude, right? And blonde hair, blue eyes, about 15 years older than me. And he's like, what's your name? We start talking. And we start kind of like just reminiscing, like we'd known each other, like talking like we just knew each other for lifetimes. And he's telling me his brother just passed away. He was a world-renowned herbologist. He studied all over the world, different shamans throughout the world. And that he just sold his multi-million-dollar businesses. He was going to get rid of all possessions, and he was going to travel the world and spread his brother's ashes at these various places that he had learned shamanism and herbology. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy. That's really cool. Well, we need to stay in touch. Anyways, we start to do the Reiki certification after everybody else shows up. There's 7 people there, and every single one of us are left-handed, including the instructor. That's just odd. So we all feel this weird sense that there's something weird going on. Him and I decide to stay in touch. And so we become friends, and we kind of like don't know how we know each other, but we know each other. He ends up going to India and Thailand and Africa for 6 months. Comes back. I looked over at his house for a little while. He comes back, and he goes, hey, I got to meet you. I need you to come out here. He's like, I got something to tell you. Okay, right? I'm like, I can come out tomorrow. And he's like 80 miles away. So that night, I went in what I call a transcendent meditation. This is where you go to hypnagogia, you follow your consciousness into the fall, you allow your autonomous nervous system to take over, the same one that I've talked to you guys about, but you go into the meditation basically in a non-localized state to where all your senses fall away. And I went in there, you go in there always with a question, and you ask yourself the question of the answer you want to know. So this one was, where do I know this guy? Where do I know him? And I didn't know what to expect. I had no expectations. I wasn't in the past lives at this time. All of a sudden, I'm standing there. And I'm like me, but not me. I'm taller. I'm more muscular. I'm wearing body armor. I'm wearing Roman armor.
The Romans, yeah.
I got symbols carved in. And like I've never looked at any of this stuff up, by the way. But I had like symbols carved in. I had decorations around the shoulder shields, and we had our hands clasped. And I was much darker, much more tan, and we had picked up dirt and we clasped hands, and we both took a knee, and our elbows were rested on knees, and we put our heads together like this, and we said a prayer, and we said, "If we shall die in this life, shall we see each other in the next?" And it was in a language I didn't know. I assume Latin, Greek, right? But all I know is it translated to, if we shall die in this life, shall we see each other in the next. And it was a prayer that we had said many times. And he was a general who was leading the army, and I was his under general. And that's all. And then all of a sudden, poof, I come out of it, and I'm like, whoa, that was intense. Holy shit, right? The next day I wake up, I drive all the way up to Frederick, Maryland, and I meet him in this like nice little Buddhist cafe, kind of quaint little setting, very dim light. And I walk in, and there's this box very similar to this, wooden box very similar to this, sitting on the table, presented. And I'm like, "What's up, man?" He goes, I just went on like this amazing journey, this spiritual journey, kind of trying to figure out life and who I am. And one of the things that I always question is, who are you and how do we know each other? Because of that experience that we had when we first met. And I go, I've been asking myself the same questions, and I actually went into a meditation last night, and I think I might know the answer. He goes, well, hold off on that. He goes, so I'm in Thailand, and I'm at the Sleeping Buddha Temple, and the head Rinpoche, who I'd never met before, who knew my brother, calls me in the back. And I go back there, and he's got this box, and he picks up the box. And he goes, I was friends with your brother, and he tells him this whole thing. He goes, but I see that there's a connection, an energy connection with you and someone else. And he goes, you guys are from the same energy, from the same source, from the same soul group. You guys are connected through time. And he goes, I knew you were coming because I could feel the connection. And he goes, I made these for you. One's for you, one's for him. And this will forever connect you through time and space. And he blessed them, and he gave him one, and he gave him both of them. And so I'm sitting there, and he's telling me the story, and I'm like, well, who's it for? And he goes, it's for you. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, dude, like, holy shit. Like, wait a minute. And I'm like, well, how do you think we know each other? You gotta remember, I never told a living soul this. And he looks at me straight in the eyes. He goes, dude, I've been thinking about this a lot. And I was in a meditation. I said, and I thought, maybe we were Roman soldiers in a different life, and we promise each other if we shall die in that life, we'll find each other in the next. And my heart went, clunk. And I started tearing up. I'm like I am now. Started tearing up and crying. I'm like, this is fucking real.
That's crazy.
So I tell this kid this story today, and he's like, yep. Yeah, okay, cool. You can have it, dude. Like, because it was his culture, and he's like, why do you have my culture on you, right? Like, he recognized it right off the bat. And this thing is 12 years old, 13 years old. But yeah, he like recognized it. I tell him the story. He's like, okay, like that's exactly how it would happen to get one of these.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
that's crazy.
So how about this? Do I believe in past lives? Whoa, yeah. I told you what happened with Marie Claire, the famous psychic, right? Vince knows this.
I don't know.
Probably a few times.
I was in Alexandria, Virginia, and this is Old Town Alexandria, so the building 1600, 1500s where these buildings were made. And there's a spiritual store there called I think it's called Sacred Circle. And I used to go there all the time. I used to hang out there. I'd get out of work out of the military. I would take the trolley in, and I'd ride the trolley back, and I'd get off. And before, I would take the cab home, I would go in there, and I'd just hang out, and I'd talk to them. I just loved the people. They were awesome. And Marie Claire was a famous psychic, who I believe still around, who would always be there.
Yeah.
And she was running a psychic workshop one night. And it was in the upstairs room of this building, which was made in like 1685. I think it was John Hamilton's former house or something. It was like one of these important buildings. And so I go there, and it starts at like 10 o'clock at night, and it runs till like 2 in the morning. And we go through a whole bunch of psychic initiations, third eye awakenings, all these things. And the last part is the walk of initiation. And it's to find out where you were in a past life. And so literally, we're in the middle of this, 17th century house, up in an upstairs room with nothing but a candle on. And she's making us walk into a closet and close the closet for like 5 minutes. And you have to sit in there alone in the room, in the closet, in this haunted house. And I'm like, you're trying to do the psychic test. You're trying to basically see what you see and feel, right? And so I go in there, and you go in there, and there's a candle in there, okay? And you go in there, there's a candle in there, you blow out the candle, and you close your eyes. And when you open your eyes, you're supposed to see your former life. And I open my eyes, and I'm a fucking Egyptian priest. And I'm standing there, I got a staff, I got a full headdress, I got garments on, and I'm a fucking legit Egyptian magician. And I'm sitting there going, like, looking at myself like this, and it smiles at me, and it just dissolves.
I love the words Egyptian magician.
So I walk out. I haven't said a word. I walk out. Marie Claire looks at me and goes, "So did you see your life as an Egyptian priest?" And I'm like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Like,
wait, so does everyone sees them as Egyptian priests, or just you?
Exactly what I saw. She had nobody could have seen what I saw in there. And I tell you, it was as real as day. It was like looking through the veil of time and looking at myself in that time frame. And I walked out of there, and she goes, "Did you see yourself as an Egyptian priest?" And I'm like, what the fuck?
No, but I'm saying, like, with the person after you, did they come in there? Did they see themselves in it? Like,
no,
maybe
everybody was different. We had people who were one woman was killed at the Salem Witch trials. One person was just a hobo. I mean, like, they just all saw random different things. Shit. Yep. But she knew exactly what I was. Hence why I'm so fascinated with the mysteries and I know them so well. You can translate ancient information that you knew in past lives. That's what downloads are.
Over to the current.
That's what downloads are. That's what knowledge. That's what books unlock. Books unlock that
I have a
which
feeling.
was deep inside.
I have a feeling I wasn't a very good person in my past lives. I don't know why. I just get this feeling that I used to do things
hold on.
people would look down
I'm
upon
gonna do a little
in this
test
life.
with you, okay? I have my pen. There's my pen. Okay, I'm
All
gonna
right.
do a little test with you. You start thinking about a past life. Don't say anything. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I don't want you to think. I don't want you to no, not yet. I don't want you to think. I don't want you to imagine. I just want you to, when you close your eyes, the first images that come to mind, no matter how weird or absurd they are, just think past life. Close your eyes, and when you start seeing something, let me know what it is in 1 minute. Okay.
So wait, when do I start?
Time.
Will I let you know what it is in 1 minute?
Yeah. And then you can give me, like, sensations, feelings, colors. Hold on.
I mean, I got it. I just fucking flashed out of nowhere, but I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know how.
Everybody saw me writing something down on this envelope right there. It's right in front of me. Go.
I saw, like, the beak of a bird, and then, like, just basically the silhouette of a bird, and, like, the head, like the eye and the beak, and it was turquoise. And it felt like I was flying. I felt like wind was blowing. So I mean, I'm not a bird, but I don't think, was I a bird? Was a pilot maybe? Okay. I don't know.
So try to translate. So sometimes when we think of past lives, what we're seeing is shapes and colors are reminiscent of things that were there in these past lives. So this is something that's ingrained deep within your psyche, and so things are coming to the surface. So you have a bird. Now, you notice the bird's colorful, right? So what kind of colorful birds do you have? Where do you find colorful birds?
I mean, the jungle.
Where?
The jungle, tropical
Now
location.
extrapolate from tropical birds. Keep on going. Close your eyes again. Do the same thing over again. Where was I in a past life?
Okay. Pirate ship. I can't see
Hold
what
on.
you. I don't see what
I
you're
gotta do
holding.
something real quick. What'd you just say? What'd you say? Okay.
Pirate ship.
I want
Pirate
everybody to
ship.
see this. Everybody knows what I just did there, right? I wrote this shit down.
Wooden ship, brown.
Wooden
worker.
ship.
Pirate.
Wait, you wrote what?
Pirate. All the way at the end.
Welcome to our fucking reality, buddy.
Nice.
Sweet.
So right when you said I did not
means you
do
had a-
good things in my last life, my mind just went. I saw you on a pirate ship in the under decks, no shirt on, right? Leather pants, with shoveling something, coal, fire, I don't know, but hot, smoky room, just filled with everything, and the birds were outside where you wanted to be.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
How
I was a
fucked
pirate
up was
assassin.
that?
God damn it.
I knew it was gonna work.
That was,
That was awesome.
that was crazy.
You
Pirate.
just think-
100
You just think of Assassin's Creed, Black Flag right there.
Actually, that was the last one I stopped playing. But like I was, the last I've done a past life regression once, and I didn't see like as vividly as Josh saw. Like but I did because I was like meditating and I was like in a trance, so to speak. But I thought I was faking it the whole time. Well, not faking it, but I was imagining it. But like obviously that came from somewhere. So first I went back to the jungles, and it was like I guess it was either the Vietnam War or some kind of hot war, because there was definitely a lot of gunfire. And then I went back to Roman times, and I think I said this on either a YouTube post or I told one of you guys. I don't remember, but I was like, I bet you Josh and I brushed elbows at that freaking Roman shit, because I was in the Roman, like same like time era, but I wasn't a Roman soldier. I feel like I was like a Muslim,
War?
like
More.
yeah, Moorish assassin killer person. I don't know, because all I remember is from that thing is the stench. Like I was around these bunch of people, and I felt like I needed to always like kind of like look over my shoulder because people were trying to get me, I guess. But I was chilling, so I was like in a den of like thieves, or like I guess it was just a bar full of miscreants. And I remember the stench because nobody had bathed like for I don't know however long it was, and it was just like I was like, oh, like it was gross.
Did
It
you
was
have a
so
wooden
vivid,
cup?
but I was like I don't remember.
You carried a wooden cup on your backpack, right?
Probably. I don't remember. Why not?
I don't know, dude. I'm asking you. Like this. So think about how this channel works.
I think what Josh is trying to say is he just got a flash of a wooden cup.
I see
I
you
get it.
walking into a
understand.
building,
I'm trying to think of it.
kind of like a very, very old 8th, 7th century building. You got a big old pack on. You're traveling. You're walking. You're dirty. And you got a wooden cup on the side that's kind of like dinging like wood. Like clunk, clunk, clunk. Like kind of just rubbing, like making a noise like wood. And you walk in and kind of everybody's looking at you. Yeah, I don't know. I just tell you what I see, dude.
I kind of see the wooden cup. It's like it has like a bottom to it. Basically, it was like the top of a tree. It was like a tree trunk that was hollowed out with a burning ember. Right, so you take a tree trunk and you take an ember and you just kind of like let it, then you use that to drink. I actually saw that the other day, and I was like, wait, I know
what
I
was
kind
the
of knew
symbol?
that, but I don't know how.
And what was the symbol that was carved into the wooden cup?
You guys are on to something for sure, because my cat just came up, brushed up against me, and this is the motherfucker that tips over the water bowl. So I think he wants water. So you're on to something.
What was the symbol that was carved
Hold on.
into the wooden cup?
I'll be right back.
Hang on.
Come on, you know what it is.
Was it 3426?
No. It's a symbol that was carved into the wooden cup.
I get it. I'm trying to
Don't
think.
think. That's the problem.
Okay. Yo, you want to see the symbol? Hey, watch this shit.
Do you know what the symbol is?
No, but I drew something on my wall like the other day. I painted something, and it's basically a triangle, a circle.
Right?
All right, hang on. I'll show you. I'm going to show you this because this is
we
like
did
this is
not do
freaking
any
me
of
out.
this
Not freaking me, but like in a good way. I mean, how could you have? Even
I
if
like
you didn't
fucking with
care,
people's minds, so this is what I like to do.
All right, so here, look. This is what I drew on my wall the other day. I don't know why. It was that little thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know what that is. That's a lot of what painting looks like. I don't know if that was necessarily the painting of the cup or
Did
not.
you have another symbol right over here?
Where?
Go back towards that symbol again. The one that you're just showing. Okay, now move your phone back, but I guess to your right. Yep, that way. Keep on going. Keep on turning. Oh, I thought there was another symbol that I saw. Okay, maybe you're not.
I mean, I have a bunch of them. I have a bunch of symbols everywhere because that's where I paint. I paint like that. That's what my paintings look like. So let me ask you this. So
if you close your eyes on a first impression, and I want you to think of a wooden cup on your pack, on your sack. Maybe this is one of you guys. What's the symbol?
Hang on. All right.
Could it be the sigil that I picked out for Dmitri earlier?
I never
you
saw
want me
it.
to send you a picture of it? Yeah, hold on.
Oh shit, that's true. Imagine that. Hang on. I mean, what would I carve on my? It would be a triangle. Probably like an isosceles triangle.
Okay, that's not my symbol, but that's okay. All right. Now.
How about I try drawing?
I want you to think. Not think, sorry. I want you to just do the same thing you did with the bird and the pirate ship. And just see the wooden cup and see the symbol.
It's an eye.
Don't try to say what it is. Try to perceive it without knowing. If you're thinking more than 3 seconds, you're thinking too long and too hard. Come back to the set. Imagine the wooden cup, handle or no handle, whatever. You pick it up, and there's that symbol. It's staring in the eye. It means something. Very representative. Probably family symbol, something of that. Sentimental to a massive degree.
I don't know. A V? Like a...
Draw it. Draw what you feel.
Hang on. Let me get it.
I use fountain pens. No, I do.
Do I use
fountain pens? And so my hands are always, my fingers are always. Yeah.
Yeah. They're nice though.
Let's see. What would be in my cup? Let me see here. Yo, I know exactly what I know what the symbol you're talking about. I have it. I know where it is. It's in here.
It's something that probably symbolizes life.
What is that? I can't see that.
Is it any of the...
Oh shit, Dmitri.
What?
that top one, the swirl.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll take the virtual background off my.
It's the top one's actually very close.
Yep, that's it. That's that guy right there. That's a rune.
Okay, go with that.
The infinity symbol. That would be the infinity symbol. I always draw them.
That's a Futhark rune. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it is a rune.
It's either an eight or an infinity
the symbol
symbol.
That I saw on your cup.
Ooh.
A butterfly?
Well, it's like a Celtic knot with a diamond in the middle. All I saw was Celtic. So I saw the 4 rounded Celtic symbol with a diamond in the center, and then very light purplish diamonds in each center. And I don't know if it was Dmitri or someone else that I'm seeing there. So if that symbol means anything to anybody out there, that's what I got.
No, not really. Not the 4. I mean, I have a pink triangle that kind of looks like a diamond.
No. It wouldn't be something. It's just... So when you see things like the cup, so when you were talking, I saw burly, Bursack. What is the word I'm thinking of? burlap
Burlap
sack,
sack.
brown leather, definitely covered from the elements. Not like 1800s Western cowboy, but more like, you know, mid 700, 500 medieval times. And you have this cup that's got this mass. It's decorated. It's beautiful, colorful. Got this Celtic symbol on it, but it's really hand done. You can tell it's hand done, not by an artist, but it means something. And someone is
Potentially.
walking into a building with lots of people in it, like a restaurant, but it's like old school, right? And people are sitting on the floor, they're looking at him, and he's out of place, not meant to be there.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody who's like a paladin or like, you know, like martially trained, but also they've got the
It's a loner
knowledge
for
set.
sure.
It's
I don't know who it is out there. It could be anybody. It's a loner for sure. Because if it's not Dmitri, if it means nothing to Dmitri, then it's got to mean someone to someone. But it's
Maybe I just don't remember it, but yeah, no, because you got the freaking pirate ship pretty good. I got ship. That was like I saw a pirate ship. I actually referred to the restaurant as a pirate ship, and that's why I work in restaurants, because that's pretty much what it is. It's a freaking pirate ship. Everyone's yelling, screaming, and going nuts. You know, and I love that chaos. It's my shit. You know, so like, I've always compared those two things. That's weird. I mean, it's awesome. I love that. We got to train more. I want to see what else I can see, or
I
if
think
you
I
can
might
see
know who it is.
through.
That's two
do you think?
infinities.
I think it's, yeah. I think it's Amicus.
So Insomniac says it kind of looks like my Celtic friendship tattoo, but two of the infinity wings are incomplete, unlike the picture.
Ooh.
I said, I think I know who it is.
Ooh.
Why
Who's that?
would she have been a man in another life?
Oh, she could have been.
Totally.
Easily.
And that would have been
Easily.
exactly her profile.
Yep.
And that's why there's a purple thing in the middle.
And that's why it has,
Yep.
and that's her color too. That like kind of light.
Of course.
It's not like a pink. It's like a rose quartz, but it's a opal. Opal.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it slightly resonates with me, but not. I've done a past life regression now. I don't know if mine was accurate or whatnot, but what I got off of mine was I could feel crackling wood burning underneath my feet, and I basically think I was a Templar. That's really what it is. It's the vibe.
Where's the spear of
The vibe
destiny?
was there.
I'm gonna.
You were not maybe a Templar, but I know where you were with crackling wood under your feet. You were either in a house of a peasant or a worker of the farm, and what happened was after they finished heating after they heated their house with the wood. So there was like a stove that heated the house, but it wasn't metal; it was made out of stone, and the house was built around the fireplace or the oven essentially. And at the end of the night, when it was done, the owner of the house or the man of the house would sleep on the top of the stuff. But the fire would still be there'll still be coal still crackling underneath, but you would sleep on top of the actual like oven or stove, because that's where the heat was residual, and you would hear the crackling underneath. You put like a blanket on top, and then you slept there. Russian Cossacks used to. I don't know if that's what it was, but that's what I saw when you said wood crackling under my feet. I was like, oh, you're sleeping on the stove, just like that, just out of nowhere.
I believe.
And I've never even seen this. I just heard about it a long time ago. I've never heard about it since now that we're talking about it. It's like if I get into that mindset, I'll just start like getting shit, you know. And that was like the first thing that came into my mind.
I love
You
so this is the great thing about people who are connected through time is you can always pull those threads and find each other. And that's the thing is nobody here right now is not connected. Understand that. And so Insomniac said, read my last message. Dies in battle as a Roman soldier. Purple is my color.
I probably killed him. Sorry.
She said I was trying to see the symbol on the wooden cup. Maybe I fucked you up. No,
Maybe.
I think that what happened is I saw her cup.
Oh yeah. That's 100%
I'm
what
almost
happened.
positive I saw her cup. Yeah.
You had to have, because that symbol meant nothing to me.
No,
Seriously.
Yeah.
I tried to even connect it to anything I have. I mean, the infinity kind of, but like that was more like Amicus's. That was the next one we were doing. That he's the woodcracker.
This happens typically because all of us are interconnected. But think about this: one person's thinking about a past life. So we're thinking about Dimitri's thinking about his past life. I'm trying to perceive it, but everybody else is doing what? Thinking about their own.
Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
And so the question is what do you see?
Let's do more of it.
Yeah, just anybody.
Me?
Just try to think of someone's past life. Even yours. It could be yours. And what you do is you simply just kind of clear it away and then just let it happen.
I got to go into meditation tonight. I think this is going to be pretty, but the tinnitus and now
I
this.
got
Is
one.
gonna be
I just saw fucking an awesome one.
I saw desert.
But I didn't.
So lots of sand.
I saw a jousting
Red
tournament.
sand.
Black knight on a black horse.
Nice.
No idea who the fuck it is.
Tumultuous just saw the plight of my people right there, walking through the desert aimlessly.
Yep.
I saw someone on a horse in knight's armor, black armor, which is cool, and jousting stick. Vince knows. Yeah.
Vince, you were a knight?
Very well.
I mean, I would
been.
pick the black
Maybe.
horse and the black thing, but I don't know about the knight.
Well, the horse's name was Kevin.
Joust.
So
Oh, wait.
I don't know. Meow.
In a past life, it would have been.
Wait a minute. You have a cat named Kevin?
Cat's name's Kevin.
Oh, he has me.
That's weird that you said that, actually, because I saw a video today about cats and like how they've essentially like coerced their way into our lives. Like they don't need us. They just figured. And do you know that the cat meows is simply just to manipulate humans?
100%. Yep.
The only time cats meow in real, like
I'm
in
going to
wild,
disagree with
wild
this.
is-
I know the study. I've read the study. I'm disagreeing with the literal-based study of the cat dude. And the reason is because I've owned cats my whole life. Not just one cat.
Do you know about the?
Never been a time where I owned just one cat. We've always owned multiple cats.
Do you know about the parasite in cats?
Now,
About the mice through cats and cats
right.
through.
But here's
Yeah.
the thing: is cats do mimic through evolutionary techniques. Babies' cries, meow, right? That was the whole purpose. They
Right.
say it's to annoy humans so they can get humans' attention. But the study also claims that cats do not communicate with each other through meow, and I call bullshit on that because they do. I've seen multiple occasions and times of cats.
Yeah, they do, but only when they're trying to find or like locate each other or like their kids or their babies, is what I heard.
No, not at all. I got adult cats. They would always meow, meow, meow. And they
talk to each other?
Absolutely. And you're not even in the room. You're nowhere near them. But I also think that they communicate with a low pulsed hum that derives from the same same
purr.
purr coordination.
Like
Yep.
like whales.
And it's like a resonant A tone, perfect for healing. That's why if you've ever noticed, like if you're feeling down, depressed, anything like that, cat will know. Jump right up in your lap and start purring.
Cats are supposed to be our caretakers into the
That's what the
afterlife.
Egyptians believed.
They make sure our soul
But
crosses
they also
over
did steal
safely.
the pyramids and think they're F-150s. And cats, they must be the ones who guide us to the afterworld. Oh, okay. The pyramid don't work anymore.
I'm just saying. That movie Caroline, Coraline. There's like a Tim Burton film, and the cat was able to go between the ghost world and then to come back to the real world. Black, of course, the black
So
hat.
Vince, what were you in a past life?
No, I've never done.
So let me
Do
ask
it
you this.
now.
What do you feel you were in a past life?
That's what I'm saying.
Da Vinci.
Do it now.
Did you just say Jumanji? Da Vinci?
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci.
What if we were
Yeah,
all
Amicus.
reincarnated great masters? We have Da Vinci, freaking
Donatello, Michelangelo.
Raphael.
Cowabunga, dudes.
You got Einstein. You got Einstein.
Just try it.
You got freaking Just try it.
Just close your eyes and see
So
what the first
way
thing
to
that comes
do it,
up.
though, is you have to clear the mind, and it is not thinking. It's just image, and it's a flash of an image.
Okay.
Anything, as weird as it
Ooh.
is, anything.
Like a old clay city, compact clay buildings. Like light tan.
I know. I know what it is.
What?
I mean, I think I know what it is. I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what Josh is drawing, but I'm seeing that city that was carved into the Italian walls. The in Tropea.
Normandy?
Tropea, is it?
Is it France? Is it Normandy?
No,
Okay,
Italy.
I'm just asking if it was Normandy.
Italy. It's the city that's carved into the mountain. Like they What are they? I think it's called Tropea.
Tripoli?
Tripoli.
Tropea. Tropea.
So what was it you saw, Vince? Like clay buildings?
Like
Clay.
light tan clay city
Light tan clay city.
buildings, windows, just clay everywhere.
Here, look.
Oh, yeah,
I wish I
don't
could
share
send you
the
guys the
screen.
picture.
Yeah,
No,
don't
I'm not gonna
screw
share the screen.
everything up. Just throw a link.
But it's essentially-
Do the link.
It's just like a no. I mean, I could do it here. I could do it like this. So I'll bring it back. Tropea. That's what it is. Tropea.
TR.
And now it's like Tropea. There's a part of that city that's not like industrial like that. It's just actually carved into like the mountain or like the mountainside or whatever. There's another one too, the Gulf of the Amalfi Coast. Is that what it is? Where's that Italian city that they carved into the ancient civilization that lived in Italy that still exists? That they have the symphony of the trees, when they hooked up the synthesizer to the trees, and essentially like.
Oh wait, I saw that recently. I think.
Of course you did.
Future proofs past, right?
That's right. Wicked, right? She's crazy.
This shit is like what I saw is just ghetto. Like, you know what I mean? It's not super nice.
Well, this is super nice now. It wasn't always like this, It used to be pretty ghetto. Trapeze. That's like a city built on top of what you're talking about.
It's a city
I mean, I
built
don't
on top of a city, built on top of a city, built on top of a city.
Yep.
Probably 5 times or 10 times more over. So it looks more modern. It probably
Maybe not.
would look-
I don't
Yeah, yeah.
What did Josh write?
I don't know.
Yeah, what did you
I'm
write,
searching.
Josh?
I wrote something, and I'm pretty assured of it. But something told me to start looking for something else.
Don't you love it when that happens?
Not this one.
Well, this is
Ooh.
crazy.
Not good?
Depends your perspective of good.
This is pretty weird. I'm looking at this clay. I just looked up clay tan huts, and then one of the pictures came up with the spiral symbol on it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, like all the pictures I'm looking at has the same tumultuous spiral as I have on my thing. That's kind of weird. Outdoor arch ceiling, Geneva stock photo. I guess it's like the company that took these photos.
Maybe something like this, similar to this.
Pull it up.
Not that nice though. I guess maybe.
What?
It's just like a desert oasis.
Morocco.
But I don't know if it was an oasis. It's just a clay fort.
Yeah, I have it. This is it. Oh my god, this is crazy. It's under Pinterest, dreamstime.com. Either earthen hut with clay, but I looked up clay hut, so. But then the image led me here with tile roof stock.
Interesting.
Oh, Morocco.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would
I don't know, man.
certainly, not that I'm trying to say it's a dirty place, but
Definitely ghetto.
I've heard
100%.
it. Yeah.
If that's what Vince described that's what I'm looking at right now. Looking at clay ghettos. Because everything else is like beautiful buildings and architecture, and this one thing is just like the first picture is like it's called earthen hut with clay something, and then tile roof, and it's just basically made out of like it looks like it's handmade. That's crazy. I'll take a picture. Send it to you guys.
Did you find anything, Josh?
Something maybe.
Está mi teléfono, otro teléfono.
This is I don't know, man. I only get like this sometimes, and this is just fucking weird.
The pirates started it.
Dude, that pirate thing.
That was crazy, right?
We're gonna have to.
Nuts.
We're gonna have to tell Jim Bob.
Jim Bob is very piratish. It's true.
Gonna have to get tumultuous a pirate hat.
Here, look. You can't see this shit.
Dude, you might have been connected to Jim Bob.
Me?
Yeah.
Why? Because through the pirate sense?
He's a pirate.
He's not today? Like he's still the pirate?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Where's the pirate hat?
It's not a pirate hat, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. You see that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a earthen clay with the spiral in it.
Yeah.
That's what Pinterest showed me. I don't know. I feel like Josh is gonna pull it like.
No, I will show you guys what I wrote, and then the first thought that came to my mind. And I'm actually looking at this now, and I'm kind of like, what the fuck? So Vince, when you told me when we were looking at your past life, this is what I saw: water, barge, gunshot, boat, helmet, gunfire. I saw World War II, storming Normandy, and something said, "Don't say anything, go look." And so I went and looked, and I found this image. And look at this guy right down in the left-hand corner.
Look just like Vince. Watch.
Oh, shit.
I can't see it.
If you're on YouTube, you'll see it.
Actually, I can go on YouTube and watch
us
from.
It's the nose, dude. It's the fucking nose.
Take the beard off of him.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my god.
Take the beard off in one shit.
Dude, how fucking creepy is that?
I'm delayed. I'm about to see it in a minute.
Oh.
Dude, I shit you not. This is what I saw. Is like you looking at and the the top dropped and everybody was going. And something said, go look at pictures. Yeah, Ancient Star said, I was thinking World War II medic.
Oh, fuck.
Wouldn't it be some shit if there's a portion of us that were there that brushed elbows with each other?
That's what I think happened. Legit.
Yeah.
At some point, somewhere, we had to have.
Like, look who's behind Vince. Not that I'm trying
man.
to say that's me, but look at the profile of the face with the smile that he's got.
Vince, if you shaved, do you look like that?
Yeah.
Like a little bit,
Isn't
yeah.
that kind of fucking
I've seen
weird
him.
and creepy?
Not
So someone's saying
identical,
is like, do you guys see this guy up in the corner right here?
but
Wait, how come I
see
can't see what
gesturing.
you can see on YouTube? I'm on
Someone's
YouTube.
saying that's me.
Oh my God, I see him. Who is that?
He's like,
Yeah.
why are you smiling?
Yeah, why are you
Because
smiling?
he knows he's smiling at candid camera. He's going to be looking at himself 80 years in the future.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the guy in front of him that's like, why are you making me smile, man?
He's like,
But I think that's pretty fucking creepy. This is my 10th I think this is pretty fucking creepy. That we told Vince to look at his life. I see water, barge, gunshot, boat, helmet, gunfire. I don't say anything. And something said, go look at pictures, and I find this. Vince, I'm sorry, but that's
Imagine
like...
the four of us are in here somehow.
The nose, the mouth, the facial, the ear, everything aligns.
Wait, which one are you saying is Vince?
Yep,
The one on the bottom left?
Right there.
Like looking up like from under his helmet, kind of? Wow, that's a young-ass Vince. That kid's a kid. Look at him. He looks like a kid.
Dude.
That's scary. Wow. Who's Mr. Grumpy with the glasses?
That's Amicus, Mr. Grumpy with the glasses.
Oh my God, the chin. Of course it is.
Oh, he does have a butt chin. Holy shit.
Look at that guy.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
I don't know, but in the sense of reincarnation, Vince.
Whoa. Does he have radio gear on his back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck. All right. Chills just went up my fucking spine a little bit. Ooh.
But
All right.
Vince, I think
I did
that's
read your
pretty damn...
Woo.
Who's that? Who are you circling around now?
What was your comment?
She said it's Amicus in the glasses.
Amicus in the glass.
Yeah, Amicus in the glass. And I looked at the person in the glasses, saw the chin, and I remember making a comment about his chin the other day. I was like, oh, shit. The chin nose.
Wow.
He has a bunch of radio
Now,
gear
how
too.
crazy is this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm serious. Like, that was not like we're not planning this. We weren't, this isn't staged or anything. Nope. This is legit. Like, we're just connected, man. Like, so Vince, I think that's just fucking, dude, I'm telling you. I saw that right when you close your eyes. It was like, boom, instantaneously. I see you rocking back and forth on the boat. Fuck. And something said, go search
I wonder
pictures.
who took the picture.
The much younger Tumulculus.
It was Glenn. Glenn took the picture.
I think that's fucking nuts, though. Because dude, I'm telling you, that picture looks... Someone needs to go in there and put a beard on it.
Oh, I'm gonna Photoshop Vince's beard onto that.
Yeah, or Photoshop the helmet on the Vince's head and see if they match up.
Or I'll find an older picture of myself, and then you could put them over each other and make one translucent.
But I had to be sure. I'm like looking at him, like, dude, that's it. That's it. Yeah, like.
Yeah, Insomniac asked, can you put the link to the pic in the chat?
Let me see if I can find it. Yep, right here. This is Esquire magazine. So that's going in the main chat and then in the Zoom chat for you guys. Yeah, something told me World War II.
Memes.
Man. I was like,
I don't want to see any memes happening. All right, none of that here.
No promises.
Getting ready for battle. Thought
Zero
I'd say
promises.
Yeah, Inferno Arizona said you all served under Patton, DJT. It's funny, like I've heard that. Firstly, DJT was still alive when Patton was alive, but you know who he wasn't? Oh, who wasn't alive when Patton was alive?
Washington.
Barron.
The guy who actually looked exactly like General Patton, who is also a general in the Marine Corps. Mad Dog Mattis. Mattis and Patton are spitting images at each other. Yep.
Fitting as well, because Patton was a crazy son of a bitch. You don't earn a name like Mad Dog without being slightly crazy.
And so, for those wondering, here's some photos for you. Just type in Patton and Mattis, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me see. Copy image address. See if this comes up for you guys there in the Zoom chat. That one right there. And for everybody out there watching there you go.
Oh, whoa.
Yep.
Down to the bags under the fucking eyes.
Yeah,
whoa.
And then there's also the Reincarnation Research Project. If you go on there and you look at Patton and Mattis, it's just uncanny.
That trips me out.
Yep.
Huh. Well, makes sense.
Yeah, it's way closer than the Trump resemblance.
Yeah, and reincarnations, they don't usually occur within the same lifetime, unless it's like a really, really, really advanced intelligence. But
I thought they would
you wouldn't
be
even
like,
know it.
I thought it would be like consecutive, but there's gaps of time.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Like immediate, you mean?
Like you separate from a life and then you go into an after, like the transitory phase, and you pop out at the other end. So it's not going to be like you die and then you pop out somebody right there.
Wouldn't it be crazy?
I guess
you actually, let's say that you don't experience life in linearity after life. So hypothetically speaking,
right,
Vince has not even lived that life in World War II yet.
Yep, that's possible.
How fucked is that?
Yep, it's true. Like I've thought of that a bunch of times before. That's why I like when the marker fell off the dry erase board. That's what I was saying, because it doesn't matter. You could reincarnate into whatever year you want. Like you could reincarnate back into the 1920s and just live that life, and now see yourself in the 20s in the past, but you haven't even lived that yet.
So here's the thing: is I've had a theory on this. Is I think that your soul energy has a certain vibrational tendency, of which means that you can only reincarnate in certain energetic cycles.
Okay.
And so, which means that, like, if I wanted to go to, February 13th, 1922, I can't. Just not me. My energy doesn't correlate to that time signature.
So is there always a similarity with how you look?
I think there is.
The T, that they say the T matters right here, like between the, like right there. Like this section stays the same, and everything else can
I've
change.
seen myself in various past lives, and I look strikingly familiar. How about this? In every past life I've ever seen myself in, I look like myself. But not like I look like myself. I just recognize myself as myself.
You guys should do the AI when the AI paints you. So like there's a website that you basically take a picture of yourself, then you just hit like the button and it paints you in terms of like Renaissance art or whatever kind of style of art. It kind of looks like you, but it doesn't. And I was starting to wonder if that's pictures of you in a past life, and it's just like taking the energy and just recreating your face. Because I have a bunch of pictures that look me, but they're not me because I took a picture of myself, but they don't look like me like exactly. and they're from different eras. There's one from like Renaissance era, then there's another era like the Expressionism, and then like whatever it was.
Now, one thing that
crazy.
you also have to remember is you weren't always a man.
That's well, yeah. And this one I was always, and these are always dudes. Because it's taking a picture of me, like, essentially, you know.
With, right?
So it's paint.
You're aligned with that energy, so that's going to be the memory that you're going to remember. Although, for me, like I get visions of a woman or a female, long time ago, long, I mean, fucking a long time ago. Indian Village. I know Indian Village, clay pots, clay bowls, water from a well, so it can't be too old, but still old, barefoot, wearing nothing but rags, really poor but peaceful, just good life, just really good happiness.
From yours, you mean?
Like I remember being an Indian mystic. Just like I remember,
like a Bengali village.
No, more like a mountain mystic, kind of like an ashram in the mountains, just living in solitude.
Gotcha.
Whole life, just living in solitude. I just like going down to the Ganges and then going back into the ashram and just living alone, being away from people, trying to understand. But I don't know. I mean, I've been meditating on these things for a very long time, so I think I'm a little bit more connected. But for me, it's really just it's that connection. How long you can withstand that connection of no thought. You're not thinking of it. You're not imagining it. You're not creating it. You're not conceptualizing it. You're just allowing it to enter your mind. When it enters your mind, it's a picture with a million words. Like, I could probably sit here and pick one and just go on for hours about it. People, places, touches, feelings, loves, all these things. I don't know why. I don't know how. I thought you guys could do it. I don't know. Hopefully we can. It's you just have to. Yeah.
I have a similar methodology of doing it. Yeah, it's more feeling emotion type of thing. I never really get trippy visuals but I can feel. I just feel. You know what I mean? It is a feel type of thing, and I purposefully try not to over imagine it because I know my imagination will run wild.
You got to back it up.
Yeah, so I try to dial it back and be as objective as I can. But the overall feel of, if it was a good place or if it was, not so good of a place.
I mean, I know there's rough times, but you really try not to remember those, the traumatic times, the traumatic events, especially on the emotional basis. Sometimes I think I was that butcher.
I think some of us were all that butcher. I mean,
I think that's why you didn't find it so scary.
Seriously, yeah, you're right.
Because I was like, what the fuck? If I saw a dude hacking on people and laughing, I definitely would be freaked out. But you were like, no, it was kind of cool. And I was thinking to myself, when you were saying that, I was like, how is it cool? What do you mean?
Like for him,
no, I
it
get
was
it.
just
Yeah,
like
I understand.
nothing.
But like,
it's like an everyday thing.
Yeah, because you might have been that butcher. Who knows? Maybe that's why the girl likes you so much. Because have you met yourself?
Yeah. I think it transcends feeling. It's like synthesizia. It's like you feel it, but experience it all at the same time, and it's not durational. It's just instantaneous. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a download that's just there. It's like, I know Kung Fu.
And just as quick as it comes, it leaves just as quick.
If you don't hold on to it, if you don't nurture it, it goes.
Yeah.
But you can pull this out of your genetic memory. Wonder what would happen if we did a group past life regression. Would we go to random or all the same if it exists? You know what, Amber? We should all do it on our camping trip who are there. I can teach everybody this process. It's not a hard process.
Let's do it.
So teach everybody this process. It's really simple. I mean, you can get any answer you want. You want to get into the Akashic Records. You want to pull out information, knowledge. It's really simple. You ask and you clear. Whatever's the first thing that pops in your eyes, your mind, your soul, whatever the first thing that you envision, without thought, without contemplation. You have to extrapolate from it. Sometimes it takes a few times to do it. So we started out with shadow people and ended up on reincarnation.
We ended up with pirates. Yeah, seriously. I can't stop thinking about that freaking ship.
You're gonna meditate.
It was a very angry part of your life. In a life, you were pissed.
Yeah.
You weren't there by your own.
I can imagine.
Accord. You did not want to be there. You were not meant to be there, and you were going to be there for a very long time and die there.
So something just kind of flashed in my head. The pirate that should never be or should not be.
What's that?
You were a pirate that should not be.
Should never be.
I'm a pirate that should not be, but I was.
But you were.
But I wasn't.
Huh.
Man.
That didn't want to be there. Yeah, it makes sense.
Interesting.
But I don't remember this much. And I mean, now that when you told me about the shoveling and the leather pants and the no shirt and then the heat, now I could see that. Like I could visualize exactly what you're talking about, and I could see myself from the back. Like I'm looking at my own back, and I'm shoveling. And you know, you want to know something crazy? I have a tattoo on my back of the symbol of St. Petersburg, where I was born, the town, and the flag. The flag of St. Petersburg is basically like a scepter, and then there's two anchors that are going like they're crossing it. So it's basically a line and then an X, and then the X's are two anchors. I don't want to take my shirt off and do all that stuff right now, but yeah, it's basically a scepter and then two anchors, and because there's a lot of ports. There's ports in St. Petersburg, so they were always known for that. But I got it because it was St. Petersburg, not because of the anchors. You know, it's weird.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The life of we need to get someone on who does past life regressions and really fucking pick his brain. That'd be cool.
Or they'll be picking our brain.
People find me and us interesting, right?
We gotta know somebody.
I can find someone. I can get We'll ask Dr. Brian Weiss or Dr. Michael Newton to come on the show. Dr. Michael Newton's getting kind of old, but Brian Weiss probably would be a good guest.
Ooh, Andrea just posed a really interesting
question.
question.
Ever lived a life that we weren't meant to live? That's a hard one.
Could you have engaged in a soul contract that wasn't part of the deal, and you're just kind of stuck here, type of thing?
In the book, Journey of the Souls, they talk about this, and basically what it is when you have a new soul or a member of your soul group who goes into a life and they're having a hard time. Sometimes you'll incarnate when you're not supposed to help them out. Yep.
So do you exist?
Trippy.
Do you exist out of karmic bond, or do same rules apply?
I assume the same rules apply.
See, I think that there would be no reason essentially for you to live a life because you would never. I think it's impossible to live a life that you shouldn't live essentially.
If you went,
because
went.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's impossible because exactly if you went because you're here, so that's it. You're supposed to do it. You never would have gone, or you would have done something else. I mean, you could probably start off of a life and then veer off into a completely different tangent, and instead of being a pirate, become a pilot because you heard the word wrong or whatever. You know what I mean? But something as simple as that. But I don't think that if you're here, if you incarnated, unless you're probably helping people out, you pretty much There's no
Meant
way.
to be here.
No. Yeah,
Whether you're a pilot or a pirate, you still learn something.
Well, how about this? Is I don't think we're
Exactly.
all from here.
Yeah.
I think many of us were here a long time ago and have since left and then came back. We're all here for the party.
yeah, I think so too. I have a feeling.
This
The
is like
reunion
front
All
row
the
seats.
time.
We had to fucking buy these tickets a long time in advance. Like,
Dude, I was thinking the same shit. I was thinking, I was like, do you know how much I had to get through to get this?
That'd be
I'm
a
not
great
leaving right
meme,
now.
wouldn't
This
it?
is ridiculous.
souls in line to buy their ticket back to Earth to reincarnate during whatever the fuck's going on. I want to get in 500,000 lives.
Exactly. It was like, I've saved more than enough to be able to get front row seats, and you're not backing me out of this one, Jim. Get me on. All right, go.
Wouldn't that be the shit, though?
You're going to be on the internet. Some guy named
I think that
Tumultuous.
everybody on the planet, I mean, I honestly think sometimes that there is the blank body, the unincarnated body. So one thing that I was taught through past life regressions was that the human being has a lower level organic consciousness. The body, the physical body actually has, so think about it, is you're built up of trillions of microorganisms working in harmony. And that has a consciousness to it. And so we have this lower level consciousness, right? And then you have this higher level consciousness. Now think about it, like your gut biome. Your gut biome talks to you in your dreams and makes you do certain things.
Mhm.
This is a
Feed
lower
me.
level consciousness that can control your and dictate your actions. And so in actuality, like when I heard this in this past life regression, it was very, very spot on that we have a higher level consciousness that integrates with a lower level consciousness. Well, I think that sometimes that you just get souls that are just not there. They don't develop. Or they leave.
Yeah, soul exit is a
Yeah.
is a
And that
thing.
sometimes you just get
Soul just says, "Fuck it,
yeah,
I've had
you
enough."
just get freaking disembodied freaking bodies walking around with very low levels of consciousness.
So this is so what is left if the soul leaves? Like
No.
zombies or something?
vessel.
Like they talk?
Liberals?
A vessel.
Why don't they bring
Why don't they
groceries
bring,
in?
why don't they bring groceries?
I
Pauseless.
bet you they
ever seen
don't.
your neighbors bring their groceries in? Okay.
Yes. I know this one. I have stealing groceries. I've helped them bring their groceries in. Actually, no. In this house, no. But I have seen neighbors before in prior houses bring their groceries.
I never have. And I'm looking every day.
Set up
You just
cameras,
kinda-
Josh.
You're going to follow them from the supermarket one time.
There's a few streets that have like 4 houses on them
Mm-hmm.
near my street, and I was driving by them today, looking for people bringing in groceries, and I was like, I never run into anybody turning on these streets.
You got to go. Oh, you got to go on a Friday when people get their paychecks. If you want to see some grocery people.
Never ran into one person turning off these 2 roads. Drive by every day, multiple times, different times.
No one's ever turned on the streets. Truman Show.
And I'd be looking at license plates and following cars very discreetly to make sure they go to the supermarket. And if they don't, it's over.
So
Dude, I'll tell you
It's a
something.
Truman Show for real.
Laura
At that
said,
point, Vince.
I had often thought that narcissists of the world are bodies that souls have abandoned. Interesting. They're just running the same
Wow.
program of trying to find
I used to be
themselves
called-
when they have no clue.
I used to be called the narcissist. I'm sure there's people out there that still would.
I think there's a. Go ahead.
I think
Oh,
I have a soul.
absolutely. And so I think I think a lot of the things I get called a narcissist. You believe, right?
Yeah, big
Me?
time. I mean, all
So
A
have I.
narcissist. But here's the thing. I realized a long time ago that, like Q says, right? Wonderland, reflection, mirror. So, tumultuous. I don't know how long, if you've ever heard this play that I do in the sense of psychology of how this all works. The only way that I could ever know you, Dmitri, is through how well I know myself. Okay? See, the only way that I can know God is through my relationship with myself. Now, here's the thing. The only way I can love another person is through the way I love myself. Therefore, if I want to love another unconditionally, more than anything, I must also do the same for myself. I must also love myself at least that same way.
I say the same thing about respect.
Exactly. And so you have to love yourself. And if that's narcissism, then I'm a fucking narcissist, right? Absolutely. Because I love
I agree.
I love everything about me. I love the things that I'm becoming. I love the things that I do. And I love where I came from. Right? And that allows me to love others so much more. And it's powerful. Because when you embrace it,
I agree.
That's see, power derives, right, from the understanding of the foundation of which creates it. So therefore, love, right, is twofold. Love is actually not like this mystery. It's not this one thing that makes the universe go round or whatever. It's not God. Okay? Love is simply gratitude with attachment. Not very simply, but love is gratitude with attachment. Think about the love and appreciation that you have for a child, a mother, a brother, a sister, a wife, uncle, cousin, whatever it might be. What is it that you really... What is the feeling that you really have for them? Appreciation of their being. But the love part, which makes it complicated, is the attachment to the outcomes of which you are not in control of. For instance, every father... My neighbor came over. He's from Bulgaria. And he started asking me this question because he's a new father. His son's like 3. Or no, like 1.5. Sorry, 1.5. And he goes, do you ever, like, you have a little boy, did you ever think that your son was always going to hurt himself or die or like, you know, that your son could potentially die and you always had to be cautious? And I'm like, yep, 100%. Every father has this instinctual 100%. Sensation that their child is going to die somehow, some way, and they always are very overprotective of that child, and they tend to hold them a little tighter because of it. And he goes, oh my God, I thought I was the only one and I didn't know who to ask. But every father feels it. Yep.
Totally, 100%.
Every single one of their kids throughout their whole life until they're competent enough to make decisions for themselves.
Yeah. That's why I was never allowed to run around the pool.
Oh my God, I yell at her all the time. What are you doing?
So
Stop
here's
it.
the key. Is until they're competent enough to make decisions for themselves, which means that you're attached to the outcomes of them in the sense of their incompetency to make decisions. You know that your child is going to go out and make decisions, and you believe your child, you don't have the trust, the competency level, right? So you think that they might make poor decisions. You're attached to the outcomes that they never made. That's attachment. That's Buddhist attachment. So love is appreciation for their being with attachment to outcome that you can't control. It's a scary thought, too. Or at least that's what I've discovered. Because...
How crazy would it be if I already drew the sigil? If you were... How crazy would it be if you were thinking of one of my paintings while drawing the sigil? That's already happened, right? And here I am going to try to draw it again, and I'm going to mess it up, or I'm going to get it wrong, or whatever. And then I'll be like, just like Josh did when I was like panning my phone, and then you're going to be like, what the fuck is that? I'm going to be like, it's a painting I painted 3 years ago. But like,
so
it's
did
the
you put
thing.
A message in the sigil?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, I put an object in it, so it should be an object, but it's simple. I didn't put anything crazy or like some painting or anything. It was just.
Well, I'm not going to be looking
just an
for
object.
it.
Just
Josh,
an object.
Don't draw it. I don't want you. Don't draw it because it's going to mess me up.
I'm not going to show you.
I don't want to see. Oh, all right. Hi. Okay.
I'm not even going to show it on Zoom. I'll show Fred later. He can tell me what it is, and I'll show him that picture I just drew. out in the universe now. Everybody knows what it is. Insomniac knows what I fucking just drew because that's how good she is at this. So we need to. Go ahead.
What if I just showed you? What if I showed you the painting that I drew about it?
Get it.
Love it.
I want to see it.
I don't know if it's it. So I have this one that I've been looking at this for the past 20 minutes that I drew. But it might not be it. It's got the thing. Oh, son. I don't know. He's holding the infinity staff on the thing. He's holding something else. It's like a big martini glass. All that's painted onto the wall. That's painted onto the thing. That's
what is
it?
Like a painting within a painting within a painting.
Dmitri, hold on. I'm gonna. That's not it. But what's crazy is you've got a guy holding something and he's like standing up type of thing, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I made a living glyph of myself a few years ago, and I got it from throwing some incense sticks. And I've added a few things since.
I think Amicus and I are connected.
Hold on.
And I got this thing. Show you this thing. This was the cornucopia that I was trying to draw from Fruit of the Loom, but then it turned into a head, like a priest head or something. I don't know. It's got a bunch of stuff in the
Miss
background.
Jazz 9, wow, you're back. Love you, Josh. I've missed you guys. Again, you haven't found us? Social Red Pill. We've been streaming every night. Awesome, but cool. Old people are finding us again. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome. They have about endless content.
Shit, we could do this. I could fucking stream 24 hours a day and just fucking be coffee.
Oh shit, that's cool.
That's my living glyph. Now the whole world sees it. So there you go.
There you go, world. Now we got to change it.
Just a little bit.
What's a living glyph?
It embodies everything I am.
Oh, it's like a voodoo
doll. Probably
symbol.
shouldn't show.
Almost.
So now we can.
So you say shouldn't show the entire world, but
yeah, I don't care if the audience sees it.
It's protected.
9/10 of them are not going to know what to do with it. Take no offense by that. Just.
All right, guys. So for everybody out there, I want to do a test with them. And this is a sigil test in the sense of what I just talked about. So the way this works is what all you have to do is close your eyes and think. Sorry, close your eyes and not think. The vision that pops in your head after I give you the 6-digit number, okay? And I'm going to give this 6-digit number. There it is right there. And you got to describe colors, shapes, textures, feelings, things, objects, images, these types of things. And the way it works is you just close your eyes without thinking, without contemplating, without imagining. Image that pops into your head, whatever it is, how absurd it is, just write it down and then put it in the chat, okay? And you guys can begin after I give you this number. But first, let me tell you, is that my thought frequency is different than yours, which means that I might be translating the thoughts to you, and you might see something completely different, but that's because your brain is trying to interpret my thought vision. So try to just attune yourself to me. Now here's the number.
I know what it is.
222-111. 222-111. 222-111.
I know what it is.
You can go ahead and put it. You can put it in the Zoom chat and private message me. Just send it in the Zoom chat. Private message me so they don't see it.
I don't know. I don't remember what it's called, but I'll tell you.
This isn't a hard one, but it's not going to be an easy one. And I got it right there, looking right at it. It's on my wall. Interesting that you said that because that's there. Like it's not that. You'll see in a second.
You know what I mean, though.
No,
you know what it is, though.
Look that up, but
it's the one that doesn't end.
Yeah, just hold on.
Like the
I'll
parrot,
look it up.
yeah. Okay.
So now people are starting to guess.
Oh, here you go. I got the name of it.
I hear paraplaxia. Why do I hear paraplaxia?
You don't. You hear this right here.
No, I hear paraplaxia. I don't know what the hell that means. You ever just hear words, random
No,
words?
Yeah. Look at what it wrote.
What did you write? Penrose. Okay. But I said parapraxia. I don't even know what the hell this is. A lapse of memory or mental errors such as a slip of the tongue or misplacement of an object. Wow, that's fucking weird. I just think of this word paraplaxia. I have no idea what the fuck it is. And it's a lapse of memory or mental error such as a slip of the tongue or misplacement of an object. What the fuck?
That's so weird, dude.
Whoa.
That's fucked. Let me try this again because maybe that was
Can you spell that out?
Parapraxia. Dude, that was weird because I think maybe I was thinking maybe I didn't translate it right, and all of a sudden I hear parapraxia. That's what the fucking word means. I've never said that word before in my life. I don't even think I know what that word is. The fuck? I'm literally looking at the definition of this word right here. I've never seen this before in my life.
Huh.
It's a Freudian slip.
Huh. We slip, yeah.
How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know, dude.
You think Freud's sitting over you with a fucking stogie paraplaxia?
Dude, that's
Yeah.
fucked. Okay, let me try this again. Because obviously I gave you guys the wrong symbol. Okay?
Why?
Hold on.
Freudian slip. That's
Okay. 291715. 291715. 291715. 291715. Just hear the number and then do that. Write it down, look at it, and then close your eyes. Colors. I want to see colors. I want to see shape and objects.
That was so trippy, man.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, who sees Miss Jazz 9? What does she say?
Yeah.
Hmm.
White circle.
White
Okay,
circle.
Amicus, what did you say?
Center.
red and round.
Yep,
Except from Pink
What
Floyd.
is that?
Pink Floyd hammers.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
Now, see how the translation of the
That's what my
information,
tattoo looks like.
circle, red, white, we got that, but everything else was like weird. It's because my thought energy,
I saw that.
that's why, see how that's...
Shit, that's what
That's
the jellyfish was.
Exactly. Look, no, that's what the jellyfish were. What was coming after it. It's just you couldn't interpret. I'll show you. It's
What's
because you
that?
can't interpret the jellyfish away from what else you were seeing, because there's more than one object there. And so basically what it is think about the neurological imprint that I'm trying to send out. You don't have that neurological imprint, so you have to find a matching shape or context within your mind. Now look at how Pink Floyd is spelled.
Yeah,
Like
Shit.
tendrils of a jellyfish draping down.
that's exactly what I saw,
the
dude.
rest of 'em.
That's just, I saw the
And there's some purple in there.
Jellyfish.
Some people are some purple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I said octopus.
But see how
yeah.
when you transfer the information with the mental imprint, people can get... This is why remote viewing works, is because I can do red, hot, cold, these types of things, because that's what we're sensing, because we don't know necessarily the same neurological imprint of me is the same neurological imprint as you. But people who are more in tune, like me and Amicus, me and Miss Jazz, they were picking up on those imprints. And that's why I said let's do it again.
A lot of practice.
Yeah.
Past couple of months.
We've done this a little bit.
Done this almost
the last couple of months. But usually we'd utilize an intermediary. So the number, we wouldn't use a number. We'd say, okay, everybody focus on a triangle shape. And you just use a triangle. And you put the image into the triangle. And then everybody does exactly that. You clear your mind, just kind of 3 deep breaths. Imagine the triangle. So I'll do it right now. I'm looking at an object right now, okay? It's a shape. I'm going to give everybody that shape. Okay? It's a shape object written on my wall, drawn right here. Okay? And I'm going to put it in a triangle. First shape that pops into your mind when you close your eyes without thinking or contemplating. What is it?
The omega symbol.
What's the omega symbol look like?
It's like an octopus. I think it's the omega symbol. That's what I'm seeing.
So hold on to that thought, okay? I just want everybody to hold on to that thought. Hold on to your thoughts.
It's like a horse. It's like a horseshoe.
Yeah, that's the one. That's exactly what I saw. Yeah.
I want to see what they're saying out there. I see square, analog clock, a butterfly, and a butterfly. That's fucked. Well, she'll know why in a minute. This. I want to see what people are saying, and there's a few more people out there, so I want to see what people are saying. I got to look at Pilled. And how about this? Nobody is wrong. Not gay. So, I have what I know of as optimization theory, and so I draw a whole bunch of stuff out to remind me of optimization theory. And at the bottom of this, I have that shape.
I cannot see.
Yeah, you're
Am I?
stuck on my end.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yep. Universe. Well, something doesn't want us to see on the Zoom end,
Nope.
but on the YouTube end,
Am I
I can
back?
see it.
Yeah.
Yep,
There you go.
you're good.
Now, do you see the butterfly?
Wow.
You can see the butterfly actually
Yep.
formed from the center of it and cross in the half. And then if you look at the upside down
Nice.
diamond, it kind of looks like that as well. But it's an upside down pentagram. Or it's actually a right side up pentagram, but the pentagram isn't actually drawn. So it's the center shape of the pentagram, which is a diamond if people didn't realize it. And that's why the diamond symbol is so esoteric.
More
Multifaceted.
potent.
I saw round. I guess I saw the top of it, but I didn't see the.
It's literally like taking the heart of a
This
sigil
is-
and
this
using
is
it as a sigil.
The
So,
best description of magical function, of how magic works in reality. It's the crazy. Well,
The omega
so it's
symbol.
very similar to the omega symbol, right?
Well, I mean, but what is omega? What does it mean?
let's
You
try.
know.
Is
Omega.
modern Greek the 24th letter of the Greek alphabet, and it's 800 value, and omega, it means the last, right? Word great
Alpha and
O,
omega
as
sigma-
opposed O, omicron, which means little o.
it's used to symbolize ohms in
Yeah,
physics.
Ohm's law of resistance, solid angle, mathematics, the omega constant.
In Christianity, the first and last letters implying that God includes all that
It's
can.
the ultimate limit of a set.
Yeah, it's not-
The final in the Greek letter omega is often used
I
to
think
denote the
that's-
last, the end, or the ultimate limit of a set, in contrast to alpha, the first letter of the Greek alphabet. And that's interesting because that's kind of a context of what we were talking about there in the sense of optimization theory. That's like a whole long process. But it's once you understand how esoteric symbology actually operates, or just symbology operates, these types of things start to make a lot more sense. Why we have pentagrams, why we have the pentagon, why we have hexagrams and so forth, and why shapes matter in certain contexts. But I know I
Well, I
gotta
gotta
get
take
going
off,
too,
you
guys.
guys.
This was fun.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
This was fun. It is.
It's 3:11.
3:11.
This was good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Energy. All right. Much love, guys. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Insomniac Hour. I think everybody's good, well, and tired and ready for bed. You all take care. We'll see you guys probably tomorrow night, right, Dmitri? You guys are doing tomorrow night? All right, tomorrow night.
Yep.
I think we're going to have a guest, Jessica, and we'll see if any of these guys want to join us as well. And if you guys ever want to join in on Insomniac Hour, just let us know. Take care, guys. Have a good night.